Steel boots stomping, crashing the floor. Two wild Yinzers kicking through the door. Loud like a jack-off at a pins game fight. Brace yourself, this ride ain't polite. Two dumb Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Tales from the Burgh with a hint of mayhem. Pierogi powered, nothing can constrain them. Knocking back stories like an icy cold brew. You never know what these two might spew. Two dumb Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. From the Burgh with a hint of mayhem. Pierogi powered, nothing can constrain them. Knocking back stories like an icy cold brew. You never know what these two might spew. Two dumb Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice. Rivers collide where the laughs always flow. Black and gold thunder everywhere they go. The madcap kings breaking every mold. With two dumb Yinzers, the stories don't get old. Two dumb Yinzers, loud and proud. Heads in the clouds, voices in the crowd. Chaos brewing, they don't play nice. Hold on to your iron and grab your prime anti-slice.
Octua, spit on that thing, baby. What's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome back to the show. Welcome back to episode 853 of the Two Dumb Yinzers. I like to say to everybody on the board, good morning, good morning, good morning, and good morning to everybody else rolling in. Finch, my man, is on scene today. What's going on, brother, man?
Doing well, having a nice time, relaxing today. You know, you probably noticed the last couple days, if you see me on here, I started I'm getting into cigars a little bit.
Yeah, I seen this.
Long story short, a friend of mine was moving last week and I helped him out, and he's a kind of a cigar guy, and he gave me a couple cigars. I've had one cigar my entire life. But the ones he gave me were real nice, the real, premium handmade Nicaraguan. And, instantly I was like, this is all right. I like this. This morning I went and bought some good coffee beans, and I'm a bit of a stickler with the coffee, ground them up, made it up in my French press, and then I paired it with a cigar. And it was a blissful experience. So I'm real happy to kind of just try something new and be into it, man.
Yeah, you know what? I'm the same way. Every once in a while, I'll smoke a cigar. It's fun. It's nice every once in a while.
It makes you feel a little upscale and luxurious.
Yeah,
There's something about it.
I don't know exactly what it does, but it does something. And it's a good time, man. I'm glad that you're enjoying the cigars and you're kind of getting into it. And I heard you said you have a small humidor and things like that. So let me ask you this. You said that you're big into coffee, which I know you are.
I am.
Do you like chocolate covered coffee beans?
They're good. They taste good.
That's like my favorite thing in the whole world.
Yeah, they're really good. And there's a place in the town where you're at right now, a little coffee joint that's right next to where I work. And I was actually there this morning, and they actually had some of those, so I bought some. So I was actually munching on some this morning.
All right.
They are good. I love coffee beans, man.
I'm glad to see you aboard, everybody. Today, of course, is Mike Tomlin press conference, and the producer / lot lizard enthusiast will keep us up to date as any reports come in. He says, I can't say enough about Mason Rudolph. This is from Mike Tomlin. I'm seeing across the bottom of the screen. You could keep up with all the info and up-to-date scoop coming in from the Mike Tomlin press conference from across the bottom of our screen today. Everything of importance will be highlighted and ran across the ticker. Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the show. I'm glad to see everybody. I'm glad to see Finch. I'm glad to be one day closer to the end, I guess you could say. I guess that's the goal of everybody. If it's the goal or if it's not the goal, we all go there anyhow. So we're working our way there one day at a time. But I do want to say good morning. And a couple of things I do want to start off by saying is this. This show, it's a good show. And I got to be honest with you. We've had our share of controversy in the past. I've painted a girl's bare titties on the show. I've put pink hearts on her titties with paint. And we've had porn stars and midgets and a lot of other things, especially early on in our day. But Finch, you said something that I caught that was more controversial than any of this combined. These just a few words. It just came up real briefly. I caught you on the Jamal show, and he asked you about, do you think that Kyle Duggar was a good move?
Oh, I know. I hemmed and hawed on it. I'm going to be honest with you. I was wrong. I said this was a mid move. I think my exact words was the move was mid.
Yeah.
And I got backlash as soon as I saw that. So I said, you know what? I need to take a moment later on last night and sit down and look at this guy a little bit better because I didn't watch the game the other day in its full entirety, right? So I will admit I was a little off on that one. It's definitely a good move. Whether it's going to be a monumental move is yet to be seen. I think that's kind of what I meant was I don't think that it's going to be, a be-all, end-all type move that's going to determine the entire season.
Now, if you watch the highlights, did that change it all for you, or you still? Oh
no, I feel better about him than I did 24 hours ago.
Yeah, hey, I'm watching this and I'm thinking I got to turn this off. I don't know. Maybe he's thinking of the wrong guy, perhaps.
No, I looked it up as we were talking. Yeah, I know they were. I got beat up real fast in the comments, and I did walk that back. I was like, hold on, guys, maybe I'm wrong on this one. But then I took a minute last night and looked at it. I was like, yeah, I had a mental slip on that one, so I apologize. I admit
it's all good. I couldn't let it slide. I seen this and I thought there's got to be something I could rag on Finch.
No, call me out on all my bullshit, man, because I fuck up all the time. So it's cool.
I gotta be honest with you. Since Sunday night, everybody in this city wanted to put a crown on that young man's head. Of course, getting the pick six that separated the game. It blew the game wide open.
But I did back up my statement a little bit with something I do stand by last night. I followed that up with, hey. Remember when Minkah Fitzpatrick came in here a couple years ago and just lit the fucking place up for 3 or 4 weeks?
Of course.
And then he just kind of disappeared after.
You know what? If we could get 3 to 4 weeks out of this guy making those kind of moves.
We need that right now. If we can get 3 or 4 good weeks out of him on defense and we can start building that game lead in our division again, then I'll eat those words for sure. I'm just saying, man, don't put all of our eggs in one basket on one guy. One guy doesn't win football games, but
I think that he's certainly a nice piece, though. He came over. He was able to come right in. The guy was on the team for about 48 hours. They had him playing. He's playing about 98% of the snaps on defense. And
he came in and he performed well, man. No doubt about it. I hope it's not a one-trick pony type deal. You know what I mean? I hope it's not a flash in the pan. I hope the guy plays consistently well. And hey, man, no reason to think that he can't.
I like the young man. Hopefully he stays for some time. Kyle Duggar, everybody. Good morning. Good morning to the board. Good morning to the terrible board. Good morning beyond. Good morning, everybody. It is Terrible Tuesday here on the show. We're getting ready. This is Bears week heading into week 12 at Monday Night Football. Wrapped up week 11 last night. Finch with a 33-16 Dallas win over Las Vegas. You know what? To be honest, the only reason that I'm surprised about this, and I'm not surprised about this, is because Dallas has just been so bad all the way up to this point. I thought maybe the Raiders, and I didn't pick the Raiders, but I just thought maybe the Raiders could keep this thing interesting. And Dallas is just that much better than the Raiders in general. So it don't matter how bad the Dallas Cowboys play. I figured they had this win, but again, still not playing great football. Finch with only 4 wins so far in the season that Cowboys do. But that wraps up week 11. Monday Night Football last night, guys. Dallas 33, Las Vegas 16. I seen that you had it on during the show last night. Any comments on that before we do get rolling?
I hate that the Cowboys won because I hate the Cowboys. I will say, and I've kind of been banging the drum a little bit this year with the Cowboys offense. I still think that Dak to Pickens is a pretty solid combination. It's just Dallas has a bad defense. Their defense is not great.
You know what? It's wild because they give up Micah Parsons, and all of a sudden their defense.
Yeah, they're playing great. They're playing okay, and or they're not playing okay. I mean, they suck and fuck it. But they last night the defense played decent.
Right.
They played a good game. They
Listen,
had a
let me
safety.
grab the 3 people on the screen and the people that are on the board. I think that we could probably play pretty good defense against the Raiders. I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah, we could.
So, with
They're not
that being said, let's get into it, guys. This is Bears week. This is week 12 of the NFL. The Bears are 7-3. We are 3-point road dogs in this game, which is going to be at Soldier Field at 1 o'clock on Sunday. And I am learning that maybe this is not such a good idea to go to play at Chicago, gentlemen. Let me pull it up real quick here where I do have it. I have some scoop about this. The Bears are 12-1 against the Steelers at home, dating back to 1936, guys. The only win for Pittsburgh came back in 1995. So the 12-1 Bears are 12-1 against us in Soldier Field all the way back pre World War II, guys. And as I said, Finch, and I remember this game very, very specifically. And I do want to take a break in what I'm saying. Just 1 second, guys. We do have the up-to-date scoop on the Mike Tomlin press conference all show today. Along the bottom of the screen, any important and any information that comes across that is important that comes out of the coach's mouth will be coming across the bottom of the screen today. So keep your eye down there. We're working hard to keep that information coming out real time. So I do want to say this, though. The Bears, they are 12-1 against the Steelers at home since 1936. Keep in mind, the Steelers have been around since 33, so gives it into perspective. This is pretty much all time. Now, the one thing that I do remember about this, Finch, was 1995. I brought up the 60-minute men theme the other day last week, and I had said to Mike, I had said, the Steelers really need to get on a 60-minute men mindset. The way that the way the coach and the defense and everybody came up with this mindset in the mid-90s. They started 3-4. They lost a couple games early. A big one. They lost big time to Minnesota. They lost big time to Miami. And the season was pretty much rolled over. This 3-4 team in 1995, and they came to an idea right after that 3-4 start. We are going to be the 60-minute men. We're going to play from beginning to the end, no stop. And you know how you get you get guys to hang on to something, to catch on, and they did. Everybody bought into the 60-minute men. So what happened was they finished out that first half of the season. They finished at 4-4. I just wanted to make the point that they started 3-4, not good, half a season almost. The first game on the second half of the schedule was the game of interest that we're talking about. The only time the Steelers beat the Bears in Chicago was that particular game, that turnaround game, that 1995. We are the 60-minute men mindset. They went out and went to the Super Bowl, winning 7 of their last 8 games and getting through the playoffs and going and playing Dallas, of course, in January of 1995. Now, with that being said, only because it's the Bears we're playing, only because it's at Chicago, but that, guys, is the only win that we have. We are 1-12 at Soldier Field since 1936. I gave you other numbers yesterday. That was with games here as well. But at Soldier, we were 1-12. The only win that we had was that magical 1995 season to start off the second half of the year. It's right in the ballpark, Finch, of where this game stands in this season, and just a little bit past halfway, trying to make a run. We didn't start that fantastic. Maybe the magic of the win of Soldier Field could happen again this week, and maybe something special could come out of this. Because, again, people could say, well, that was a really great team. And it was. And the defense was really good. But you got to remember, at that time of Troy Aikmans and Joe Montanas and Steve Youngs and guys like this, Neil O'Donnell's were not big names. Bam Morris was not a big name in times of Emmitt Smiths, Barry Sanders, and players like this. Yancey Thigpen was not a big name in times of Michael Irving's, Jerry Rice's, and players like this. So this team that was, certainly not as good as what the elite were in the league at that time, they were able, basically, at this point in the season, to go to Chicago, get that first win. It was an overtime win, albeit, but get that first win in Chicago. If they do it again, Finch, maybe the football gods will rain down on us one more time, Finch, and they could, with what I'm about to say next, make this a magical season. Again, as goofy as this year is, maybe this could be anybody's year. Maybe this could be the year our quarterback rides off in the sunset. Hey, you know what? We're halfway through the season. There's a lot of football to be played. Am I crazy to dream?
Not crazy at all. Everything you said is 100% correct. Now, you got to keep in mind that the parlance of our times is definitely different. You mentioned all those wonderful players just a moment ago, one of which being Troy Aikman, who beat us in that Super Bowl, by the way.
Did he really beat us?
his offensive line beat the shit out of our defensive line, and that pretty much rocked the whole game. I don't remember Greg Lloyd getting his name called once in that game, but that's beyond the point. This is the turning point of the season for us right now. Now, it's definitely different from 95 because we were 3-4. We were in the middle of the division, in the middle of the pack in the AFC, whereas right now we're still leading our division, although it doesn't feel like we're leading the division. That sounds silly, but it's usually when the Steelers are in first place, you're confident. And this year, I'm not super confident in that. Now, they can completely turn my mindset around this week. Because in order to be the best, you've got to beat the best. I'm not saying the Bears are the best, but the Bears are playing solid football right now. They are on a very nice little winning slide, I guess you could say, after starting out quite poorly at the beginning of the year. The Bears are good, man, but they're also beatable. So for us to get that 60-minute man mindset right now could be extremely beneficial. But then you also bring up the question of how come we haven't had that mindset all season? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you would think you always want to play from the opening minute to the last down. And, the Steelers, we have a tendency to fluctuate throughout a game. Sometimes we start great and finish terrible. Sometimes we start bad and finish strong. If we could just put together a whole game, like we just did against the Bengals, put together a whole game against a solid team like the Bears, not a shit defense like the Bengals, then yes, I really like the idea. I like the idea you're putting forth that this could be that pivotal moment in the season.
And where this basically the idea sprung from, obviously everything coming into the Chicago game. But again, a few weeks back in the Indianapolis game, pregame, the speech that Jalen Ramsey gave the team was nothing short of monumental. It turned the team into a monster, and they were able to go out and take this number one seeded team at the time and dominate them, for the most part of this football game. So again, maybe it's going to take a guy like Jalen. You got to, a lot of magic things have to happen in order for magic to happen. And, maybe if Jalen could be that guy and just be the mouthpiece and continue to influence and encourage the guys the way that he did prior to the Indianapolis game, maybe you could have a situation like this. But you got to, it's got to be a solid idea. Everybody has to bite into it. And it's got to be the right group of guys. If you don't have the right group of guys, unfortunately, maybe it's not going to work for everybody. But at this point, it's just where we're at in that particular season. Again, this is the anniversary year, 30 years of the Super Bowl. So this year, when the Super Bowl does come around, it's basically 30 years from right now, back then, that this game actually happened that we're speaking of, this Bears game. So again, the timing, the football gods, you never know. And we do, I don't know if you've ever seen him, but we do have Myron Cope stops by sometime on the show.
Oh yeah,
and,
I was in the chat the last time he came by. Yeah,
and so I mean, the football gods, they are certainly there. They're doing their work. So let's keep our fingers crossed. Let's hope this thing turns out good for us. We got the Bears this week. I think this is not going to be an easy game. They're a good team, as you said. They are certainly working their way up the ladder with a 7-3 record, doing very well in their division. Which I thought their division was going to do well, just not in the particular order it is. But I got to be honest with you, it's delightful in a sense because you like to see the Bears and teams that aren't usually good do well.
Right.
So we're going to take our opportunity to play this football team this week. I think we can beat them. I don't think it's going to be an easy game. I don't think it's a gimme by any means. We have a lot of situations going on, just like everybody else around the league, injury-wise and everything else at this point in the year. So
could I touch on something real quick that you mentioned?
Yeah, let me just finish up.
Yes, please. Yes.
I think this is a winnable game. I don't think this is a game that we fear, but it's certainly not a game we should overlook by any means. This should, in fact, be a whether it be AFC or NFC, this should be a black and blue beat down kind of game, both ways, kind of like what you've seen last week with the Bengals this week.
And that's the football we love.
Absolutely.
That's why we watch. You mentioned Jalen Ramsey, and I'm sure we're going to talk about him a little bit more later. Here's my question, buddy. Like, who's the captain of that defense? Cam Hayward, right?
I would think.
How come Jalen is taking on that role so effectively well, and how come Cam isn't stepping up in that role? If Jalen's giving impassionate speeches and he's out there being the field general, which I'm not saying he's doing a great job at that. You're right about that. How come? Why are we paying fucking Cam all this extra money? Do you know what I mean? Like that is it. I'm sure during his negotiations, the phrase "I'm the team captain" came up. Then act like the goddamn team captain, right?
Yeah.
Be that guy. That just kind of sticks in my craw just a little bit. That's
And
kind
the
of
other guy making the most money in the fucking world on a defense. I mean, he started out as the captain. Everyone was rallying around Mr. Watt early, a few years back. This guy's a leader. He's this in the locker room. But again, nobody has the locker room. Nobody has control of the locker room as far as a player. I think it's up for grabs. That's why I say, you know what, Jalen, it worked 1 week. I hope maybe he steps up. Since we have 7 games left to make this happen, we're going to go through our remaining schedule and the Ravens' remaining schedule right here today on the show. So do stick around, everybody. I do want to say, if you do notice on the board, guys, or if you just tuned in, we have the most up-to-date Mike Tomlin press conference information tickering across the bottom of the screen all show today. I'm catching scoops. I'm catching bits and pieces of scoop as you are at home as it's going across. I did see, Finch, that Aaron Rodgers will not be participating in practice last week. A few other things, so keep your eye on the bottom of the screen, everybody. A lot of important Mike Tomlin press conference information. We pick it up as we go, Finch. Real time, we'll talk a little bit about everything. Also, I'm seeing Jalen Warren. Mr. Jalen Warren went down with his ankle. He was cleared to return to the game on Sunday. I'm watching this play out just like you, so bear with me. After getting hurt, they just probably wanted to protect his ankle. So there you go, guys. Keep an eye at the bottom of the screen. Finch, you and we're going to continue forward with all the things that we have to talk about today. Of course, this is Bears week. Welcome. But I don't want to do anything else before I talk to the board, guys.
Yes. Welcome, everybody. Welcome
to the show.
Welcome back.
I do want to say good morning to Jason Atkins. What's up, brother? Always great seeing Jason on the terrible board. Cody, my man, he says, morning, fellas. Great seeing Cody, as always, on the board. RB. RB says this: if Finch starts defending Tomlin's stuff today, I'm going to take one of those guitars off the wall and honky tonk man his ass. You know what? I haven't seen anybody honky tonk since Jeff Jarrett. Jeff Jarrett stole honky tonk man's moves in the WCW.
Piss me off.
Don't piss
Remember
me
you
off.
Say that? Don't piss me off.
Yeah.
They were giving me some shit about defending Tomlin on the Sunday
night show. We're going to avoid that entirely today.
Yes,
okay. Entirely.
Just
I have
to defend myself real fast.
And I know that we're both going to be yelling if we do that, so we're going to leave it off the table entirely, because I agree somewhat with what you were saying, but I also disagree with some things. So we're going to.
All I said is that the Steelers will not fire him mid-season. That's what I said.
Well, I think that.
And they got upset about that. So whatever.
Who got upset about that?
Field of Steel actually was giving me quite a hard time. Told me to shut up because I said the Steelers will not fire a head coach in the middle of a season, and that was kind of the controversy, I think.
And how did that turn into anything else? It needs to start. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Say it again.
How did it turn into anything else? I mean, because it got out of control. I seen exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. And they got mad because I was, I basically just pointed out that a lot of people hated Mike Tomlin before he even started coaching one single game, and they've held on to that hate for years and years and years. That's all I said. And they look for not they, I mean, a lot of people look for any excuse to get rid of the guy because they don't like him. The guy goes out and wins games. I know we're not having a discussion, but that's where I was going with it. It's a discussion that's been said many times. And I was implying racism. Yeah, I was 100%. I didn't say anybody's particular, but I implied that a lot of people that I've known in the last 20 years who had issues with Tomlin before he even coached a game had an issue with him. And the only issue that could possibly have with him would be how he looks.
I think you're wrong, but I disagree. But you know what? We are going to continue.
Fair argument to have, buddy. We will have that argument some other time.
Absolutely. Yes. We're gonna give it time to cool down a little bit before we do that. But yes, it's gonna get interesting. So let's move on. Also, Cody says this: Ryan, you listen to some ASAP Kelly, whatever the hell he goes by. Cody, I did. Yeah, he's been Kelly for me. I don't know why. I think it's the letters. Maybe it's an R. Kelly thing, but he is ASAP Kelly to me. And Cody, I did listen to him, and I also came to this conclusion. I didn't realize he was older than me, for fuck's sake. The guy is 37 years old, and I'm surprised. I don't know who he is because of that, Cody. He's listening to people older than your dad almost. But just kidding. I decided to give him a new name. He is not ASAP Kelly anymore, Finch. He is AARP Rocky. His name is AARP Rocky, not ASAP Rocky. It is now AARP Rocky. Everybody.
I was surprised to learn his age as well.
And also, he's going to be in his 40s, the same time I am, in the same time period. So again, a bit surprised by this. I figured he was a young buck when he was being talked about, but I found out. I researched, I listened to a little bit, and I found out he was almost my age. So again, I apologize. I did not know about ASAP Kelly, but now he is AARP Rocky.
Yeah, I don't know much about the guy either. I know who he is. That's about it. So
Tortilla says, "What's up? What's up, baby? Always great seeing Tortilla on the big board." Richard said, "Good morning. Good morning to you as well, sir." Cody says, "Buy some Acid cigars. That's the best brand. I've enjoyed Acid cigars in my life as well." Finch, you're the kind of guy though. You get into a kick with collecting and getting different things.
I do. I'm one of those guys. Yeah.
You're gonna be the guy that somehow gets yourself some Cubans. I know it. You're gonna be like, Ryan, when you come over this week, we got.
They're legal
Cubans.
now. They're legal in the U.S. now, so you can go to a cigar shop, a premium shop, and buy them outright.
What do they cost? What's a Cuban cigar cost?
I honestly couldn't tell you. The shop I went to yesterday is local to me, and they have a really nice walk-in humidor, a lot of a variety. And I'm completely new to this, so I don't know what half of these words are and what they mean. I was literally standing in the humidor on my phone Googling, what the hell is a Doro? What the hell is a Maduro? You know what I mean? And I took a couple minutes and I learned, and I figured, I'll try something. But I seen some outrageous prices, man. They had a sale on a box of cigars, a sale that was $650 for 20 cigars. So it's like, what was the original price? Like $700, $800? Like, to me, that's insane. However, I understand that, and it's not just cigars, it's anything where there are people who have, acquired tastes, wine, coffee, tobacco, just all that stuff.
What makes a cigar that much money? You know what I mean? If you're smoking that cigar, as you were saying last night, I'm smoking a cigar was $30. This is what it feels like to smoke $30. Can you imagine smoking something that was, $600? I mean, something that's not weed or drug related.
Ridiculous. Yeah, like they had individual cigars that were like $60 in there, and I'm pretty sure that there are a lot of cigars around the world that cost way more than that individually, and that's too much for my blood. I think the cool thing about any hobby that it is like has a taste to it, like tobacco or coffee or whatever, is it's cool to go buy the expensive thing and try the luxury thing. But I think the fun is finding the cheaper options that are nearly as good.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I think that's where it's at. I think that's what's fun about it. And I'm starting to learn that about cigars. I've already gone through this with other things in my life. I think that's what's really cool. As for the Acid cigars, I saw them for sale there, but I've never had one. I will definitely try that next time. $27 a piece, though. That's a little pricey, but yeah, to have one in a celebratory situation, I think is totally cool.
Enjoy the hell out of that
yeah,
cigar.
Enjoy it. Make sure you're in the right scenario. You got the right music playing. You got the right drink in your hand. You got the right lady sitting next to you. You know what I mean? You're paying for the experience there. You're not paying for the high of using the tobacco. You're paying for the all-around experience of enjoying something that's premium.
I do want to cut in. This is information that I was going to get to. I am getting it on our Insta board. I guess Mike Tallman had mentioned it. Jamar Chase reportedly plans to challenge his suspension by saying this. He says, if he would have spit on Jalen Ramsey, if he would have meant to spit on him, or if he would have spit on him, he says, I would have spit on his face. And as you watch the loogie fly through the air, it doesn't hit his face. It goes towards his face and then down towards his jersey. So this is what is being said for the, I think the appeal is insane. For once I think
he's taking the gravity defense.
He's taking the gravity defense, and once the board sees that's the spit flying through the air, I do believe it's not going to work out for him. You can't spit on people, man. It's bottom. I mean, come on. How often, Jameer? How often do you see somebody else spitting on somebody in the league? Bro, you know it's not right. You know it's not right. Doesn't happen often. It doesn't happen often.
And every time it happens and it's on camera, those guys get punished, as they should be. You shouldn't. You can't disrespect other players like that. You just can't.
No, I mean,
spitting on something incredibly
a lot of times, but I think spitting is certainly is gone too far. That's certainly once you're putting your DNA on somebody else's body. You know what I'm saying? It's just it's not right on any level. I think disrespectful things happen in sports all the time. I think they do. I'm just saying there shouldn't be a place for that. That shouldn't be tolerated, is what I mean to say. It shouldn't be tolerated. The NFL is making the right move here. I think I read something yesterday and said that, Jalen said the wrong thing to him and he was jawing at him all day and it pissed him off and he finally acted out. It's like, dude, you're an adult, man. And bro, you do this every game. You do this every game, and everybody has talked shit. Now, granted, if he'd have said something completely vile, completely wrong, I brought up the Mason Rudolph, Myles Garrett thing where Myles accused him of saying something racist. In that situation, it still wouldn't have been right for him to hit him over the head. But at least I could... If that was actually what happened, I can understand the rage buildup, okay? Right. But if some guy's out there and he's jawing at you, telling you, man, I got you, I'm gonna beat you, I can't, or even if he throws out like a yo mama or something like that, like you just gotta take it in stride and just jaw back, dude. Run the mouth back and then prove yourself on the field. Actually play the damn game properly. Don't get upset
that you're being beat by this guy and he's jawing at you. Don't spit on him, you know what I mean? Just be a man about it. Yell at him back. Show him up with the play on the field.
Back on the board. Hey, guys, I almost had you, Finch. MFL, laughed my ass off. Corey said, with the picks, yes. Finch, the big winner this week in the CBS Pick'ems. We'll get to that about halftime today on the show. Congratulations to Finch on that.
Oh, yeah, I'll have to go check the picks. I didn't check the CBS picks yet. See who
Finch
did what.
He won. He won by a tiebreaker. So congrats on that. We'll get to that shortly. Tortilla says this. He says, I smoked a cigar one time and must have inhaled it because my lungs were fucked. I'll stick to crack. Yeah, the thing about cigars, a lot of times when you're younger, you do learn that lesson, especially if you're younger. You get a cigar, you try a dip of chew, and you don't know what the fuck you're doing, swallowing chew and inhaling cigars, and you learn quick. So a lot of times, a lot of that education you get when you're in school. Also, Corey says that, Cody, I don't know if I'm ready for acid. Cody says, he said, no, let's see. Cody Pierre, he was the real hero. He was certainly a hero, guys. Come on. He held Chase to damn near nothing. 3 catches, 30 yards. Is that what it was? Also, the nail in the coffin at the end of the game. Some big tackles throughout the game. I certainly give a part of my game ball to Pierre. No two ways about that. Corey Beaver says Rodgers won't need surgery. That's true. He will not need surgery. And from what I was reading this morning, if he does not have surgery, he'll be eligible to play this weekend. But as we're seeing across the bottom of the screen just a moment ago, we found out that he will not be practicing tomorrow. So whatever that means heading into the weekend, I don't know. Tomorrow's Wednesday already. We're getting to the weekend and getting there fast. So we're going to find out more about Aaron Rodgers as we do move on. He does have a slight fracture in his non-throwing hand, which, guys, this has not been the first time this happened to one of our Hall of Fame quarterbacks. I got to be honest with you. This same exact thing happened back in let me pull up my information, Finch, and I'll let you know exactly when it happened. This was back in 1977. Terry Bradshaw played with a majority of 77 with a broken wrist after he sustained the injury during a Week 4 loss to the Oilers. Bradshaw's injuries that day, in addition to an in-game injury to backup Mike Kruzak, led to then Steeler rookie quarterback and future Hall of Fame Tony Dungy playing backup for a significant portion of the game. Former college quarterback he was, but despite Bradshaw's injury, he didn't miss a start the remainder of the season. He threw for then a career-high 2,523 yards, but also threw his most interceptions in a season with 17 to go with his 19 touchdown passes. In the first round of the playoffs that year, we were eliminated, but it would not be the first time if somebody went in and played with the broken hand on their soft hand, their left hand, going in and playing for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'd like to see it, but again, who knows what's going to happen? Finch, what do you think on this? What's the chances of Aaron Rodgers playing on Sunday?
To get on what you said about Bradshaw, the impressive thing about that too is the NFL was such a different ball game back then. The guys hit harder, they hit faster. QBs didn't have protection like they do now. For him to play with the broken hand, even though it's his offhand, for him to play that the rest of that season with a broken hand is extremely commendable. Aaron Rodgers, he's a tough guy. He doesn't miss a lot of starts. Obviously, he had that bad injury with the Jets a couple years ago, but that would end anybody's season. Aaron's a tough guy. He is capable of playing through this injury, I think. You know what I mean? Once again, it's his offhand. It's not like it's his throwing arm. Wrap it up. Take a couple pills. Get shot up. Aaron, go out there, win the fucking game, bro.
Yeah, I agree. So, it's up in the air. I would think the same thing. I would think, he's kind of been a tough guy, and
he's known, just like Favre, he's known for being a very tough, standout Iron Man type player. If he doesn't play, I would have to assume that the injury is maybe worse than we thought.
Let's move on. Jamal, what's up, bro? Jamal says, gang. This morning, nice seeing you on the board as always.
Jamal, thank you for having me on your show last night, by the way. That was an absolute blast. I can't wait to join you guys again.
Thanks for having us, Jamal. Tortilla says this Shador versus Gino this week is going to be so bad it's good. I got to be honest with you. I was excited. I was excited to see Shador Sanders play this week. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Call me crazy. But after everything that I've been hearing and seeing, I wanted to see the guy play, and I found this out. The Cleveland Browns are retiring his number this week, so do check that out on Sunday. Mark Malone, always great to see you on the terrible board. He says Boston Fields is going back to the bench. How many times can this guy get benched? Justin Fields did get benched again. We may get screwed on our comp pick. We just might, guys. I mean, we're running out of time. They can only bench this guy so many times in a year. Corey says that Mark, we got screwed on the Russ comp, so that makes sense. Just further the theory for me that either Rodgers is coming back or Howard will get his chance. Corey says this: we're slowly losing a lot of our trade-away picks due to the injuries and benchings, it seems like.
Is it a collusion? Is it a collusion?
Maybe it's a collusion. But you know what? That's Corey. Corey is our resident.
Yeah, he's our conspiracy guy, right?
Conspiracy expert.
Look into that one, Corey.
I think he's on it, man. He has he laid out his groundwork. Tortilla says we aren't 60-minute men. We're about 45-minute men, maybe. I agree. Tortilla says probably why we set ourselves up with so many and won't trade any because we could possibly lose some. Mark Malone says that Corey B. Rodgers isn't coming back. He said this was his last year, and he's definitely not some double talking jive motherfucker. Next year it will be between Magnum and Howard. Between Mason Mercury, Finch. Mason Mercury. Mark Malone also says this: if Tomlin hadn't completely effed the quarterback room last year by bringing in Buston and Midget, Magnum likely would have gotten us a lot further. You know what I mean? We can start pointing fingers and splitting hairs at this point, but we know where we're going. We know that in theory, we should be drafting a quarterback in April. We know that Mason Rudolph is probably going to be here regardless. We know that we have Will Howard on the shelf. I want to see Will just as much as anybody as a rookie, of course, not getting a chance to see him finish because of his injury in the preseason.
Right.
We haven't had a chance to see him, but I think it's the writing's on the wall. Whether or not Aaron does come back, I think is truly irrelevant. I do think that we draft a quarterback in the draft, and we do have these other two pieces at play. Do you bring Aaron Rodgers back and sit Will Howard on the third string again? At some point, again, he's your young quarterback. Aaron Rodgers isn't a Steeler quarterback. He's the Steeler quarterback this year. He's going to retire soon. He's going to go back to Green Bay and retire with them. So, again, at the end of the day, I'm not putting a whole bunch of future in anything about Aaron Rodgers. You've got to think of the team and moving forward and drafting a quarterback and looking what we already have and moving forward. I think that should be where our mind is. If Aaron comes back, great. Gives the guys a little extra time to, be under him and take advantage of his tutelage. But I can't get into that at this point anyway with Aaron Rodgers. I'm not equipped to make that fight, Finch. I'm not. Again, it was kind of a surprise he came this year at first. I didn't love it. Now I'm okay with it. He's scoring touchdowns. I'm okay with that. Things are good. They're not great. So again, with what we need to do moving forward, he's not a big part or much of a part. So that's whether he goes or whether he stays is not really interesting me too much.
You talked earlier about the Steelers being 60-minute men. Maybe as fans, we need to be 60-minute fans. Look at the game in front of us and just the team right now, the way that they've built this team up. We've been trying to build the team to win this year, right? Isn't that the whole goal was to win this year? This is not a rebuilding year. This is a year where we try to finish any sort of rebuild we had. And bringing Aaron in obviously was a big part of that, or at least that's the hope. Also, I just lost my monitor, so now I cannot see you or chat. I think I might have kicked the plug out. I might have to take a minute here and mess with that. But anyway, we really should just look at this one game at a time right now. Because, as you said, we know Aaron's not going to, almost certainly not going to be here next year. It would take a miracle. It would take a combination of him winning some playoff games, possibly a Super Bowl, and being willing to maybe take a good price next year. That's another part of this is, we got him for, $13 million this year, up to almost $20 million with incentives possible. That's a lot of money. Are we going to be willing to pay him that again unless he had won the Super Bowl this year? Right. You know what I mean? I think that plays a lot to do with it as well in terms of the future. But at the end of the day, next year, the draft is in Pittsburgh and the Steelers really need to push the idea of drafting another QB. But it would be nice to have Aaron here for that extra year, for the tutelage. Once again, I've said this before on the show, nobody understands quarterback tutelage in the league right now better than Aaron Rodgers. They don't.
Yeah.
He was under one of the greatest of all time. We saw how well that worked for the Green Bay Packers. There's no reason to believe that it couldn't work in Pittsburgh. It's just a matter of can the pieces fall into place for that to happen.
Unfortunately, the time's too short for that. Again, I mean, he's down to his last 24 games, and 7 or 24 games certainly isn't going to be enough, in my opinion, because again, he comes back next year. Again, we'll talk about that when the time comes. But I do want to say this: Mason Rudolph, he makes this comment yesterday. Mason Rudolph talking about love, his love for playing here in Pittsburgh. Of course, he was gone for a year, came back, went to Tennessee. Mason Rudolph says this quote: "I love playing here. This is where I was drafted, and this is my home. It's very special." Unquote. So, you know what? If it comes down to this, Finch, because it's debatable this year. Can Mason Rudolph come in and play when Aaron Rodgers is hurt? So, of course, if Aaron Rodgers doesn't come back next year, you would think that Mason Rudolph would be a big part of that. Playing behind Aaron, I guess, would be the only disadvantage, I think, of him walking away. But, again, at the end of the day, we don't know. We don't even know if the guy's going to play this weekend. We don't know what's going to happen with the future of Aaron Rodgers. So let's go ahead and continue on the board and see what else is going on.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna go. Let me go.
While you're scrolling real quick, just to bring up the Mason Rudolph thing, we've been through this with Mason before, and it didn't turn out super great.
He won 3 games in a row when he needed to. I mean, that's a big argument,
and
right?
That was part of what I was going to say was maybe he is that guy who is destined to be that career backup who just comes in when he's called and just does it when it needs to happen. Charlie Batch was the name that I brought up in this discussion yesterday. Charlie Batch, he started for Detroit a couple years. He did okay. He got him to the playoffs and all that stuff. He comes to Pittsburgh. We've had him start a couple games and it didn't work out. He ends up backing up Ben all the time. And then after that, you never felt bad when Ben got hurt or was out for a couple games because you knew you had Charlie and you knew Charlie was going to give it his all. He was never consistently great, but when you needed him, he was that guy. And I would really love to see Rudolph be that guy. He's proven himself that he understands the offense. He understands the game of football pretty well. He just doesn't quite have the physical ability to play as a great, consistent starter. At least he hasn't shown that to me over the course of an entire season. I mean, hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully the guy goes out there and throws bombs and ends up kicking ass. You want like Baker Mayfield.
I think it's better, Finch, that if you get your pieces in place, as we're trying to do, and the way they were doing it was they're building their team, and then they're going to get their quarterback when the best opportunity comes. And the fact of the matter is, if you go with somebody like Mason, you're not getting the best possible candidate back there, which I think is not a bad thing because, again, everything else is still building and working its way to get to where it wants to be. If you have a top-ranked guy, which they're learning a lot from a top-ranked guy in Aaron Rodgers, the guy's going to walk in Hall of Fame. I also think it wouldn't benefit them to have a guy like Mason who's a little bit rocky as well because, again, you're going to have to go back to square one when you do get your new guy, whether it be Will Howard or whether it be somebody from the draft. So, again, you know what? It's going to be something that we talk about more in the future. Aaron Rodgers here next year or not, but we don't even know, again, if he's going to be playing this week. So let's move on the board, guys.
Yeah.
Tortilla says this. Tortilla says Cam may be the captain that might have the C next to the name, but he's no captain. And then Tortilla also follows it up by saying Hayward's speech is probably awkward as hell. You know what? I was thinking that as well when we were talking about Cam briefly. He talks to the media. He always has something to say, but he seems like he could be awkward, Finch, as he's trying to get the guys together. I mean, you all have known that guy, and he just has a certain awkwardness to him. One of these other guys with mouths, Jalen Ramsey, for a perfect example, Joey Porter Sr., Ray Lewis. There's a certain cut. There's a certain mold that usually is this player. If Cam Hayward could have been that guy, he should have been this guy for 103 years now, or however long he's been on this team.
Yeah, right.
He's never been that guy. So, I mean, I think we're beating a dead horse with even taking that. But again, he's a captain by example. Some people say some people lead, some people whatever. So again, at the end of the day, I think Jalen Ramsey he could be the key, guys. Again, what he was able to do for that team before the Colts game went a long way. Jamal says, what up, fam? Also, Tortilla says, gang. Cody says this, Mike Tomlin, not for life. RB says, I was just a bit upset that Finch was implying that you're racist if you don't like Tomlin. You know what? And that's kind of where my argument goes. It was fair. The wording. It was the presentation of how that conversation went. I
may not have explained my thoughts completely. That's a conversation for another time. Yes, I mean, absolutely. No disrespect to our fans and friends here.
Absolutely, and I understand it as well. And I think it was the.
I do have strong feelings about it, so it is what it is.
And tell me one person that
doesn't have strong feelings about anything. Right, exactly.
So again, I think it was the presentation. That's why I overlooked it and went on with my day. But we are going to also move on the board here.
Please do.
Cody says this. Jamal
Love you, Barley.
Jamal is racist. Also, this Yinzer Joe says the Fincher and Ron. What's up, boys? What's up, brother? Always great to see you.
What up?
Tortilla says ASAP Yinzer. ASAP Yinzer in the
ASAP
AARP Rocky guys going the big concert down at the Starlight next week. Also, Cody says acid cigars $27 a piece.
That's a little rich for me, but I would try one sometime for sure.
Mark Malone says don't look over Jamaican cigars.
I'll keep that in mind as well. I'm smoking Nicaraguan cigars right now, and I'm enjoying those. So, yeah, let's try them out. I'll try some Jamaicans.
Aaron says this. Aaron says, here we go, Steelers. Always great to see Aaron on a terrible board. John said I was wrong. Chase is paying $507,000, not 50. Yes, no, this is the scoop on that. Jamar Chase with the suspension. These are the numbers I have. His suspension is going to cost him $448,333 with a $58,823 per game active bonus for his Hawk Tua move that he did last weekend against Jalen Ramsey and the Pittsburgh Steelers. He is appealing. He's appealing that move, guys. He's trying to say, if I meant to spit at him, I would have spit in his face. That's his argument. So
the gravity defense.
Let's play that. Let's watch that play out. But it is going to cost him $500,000, and it kind of hurts my soul to know that they. I watched the guy play for 3 hours. It hurts my soul to know that that's all it takes to make $500,000 is to play a game like that. He didn't do much. Mark Malone said this. I can't believe they ejected Ramsey. Well, looking back in hindsight, I mean that shouldn't have been the case. If they would have known that he spit on him, and that, you know, people were saying it right away. But there was no official word, so it was hard to do on the in real time. Yinzer Joe says, "Have you guys had a look at who the Bears played this year? I mean, they kind of remind me of the Colts. I don't think I did, and it's not impressive."
Yeah, we went over this on the show last night. The teams they've beat are teams that good teams should beat, and the teams they lost to are teams
I don't
think
I'm scared. Are you guys? I mean, I was to what potentially the Bengals can do. Go ahead, Finch.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just agreeing with what he said. The Bears, they beat the teams they should beat. They lose to the teams that are better than them.
Yeah, again, it's not a really good team. It's not a team that's blowing you away. But again, you're kind of amazed because the Bears are 7-3. You know what I mean? It's I don't think that's a natural feeling.
And you might be mentioning this later. I'll just bring it up real quick. I saw a really crazy stat today, and it had the point differentials of the four teams in the NFC North. Did you see this?
Yes.
The Bears are like -6 on the year. The Lions are like +52, and the Lions are in third place.
Yes.
That's a wild stat to me right there.
Well, you can look at around until the game that we just played, Finch. Every division leader in the NFL was a nice size plus. The Steelers were the only one seed, the only first place team in the league that had minus differential. They got over it this week, so we could enjoy that for a couple days.
Yeah,
but we were the only team, so we're kind of in that boat. We are kind of bearish, and again, I think I lean toward the experience and tradition and teams that just generally have more success a lot of times in these particular kind of games. I'm leaning with the Steelers. I think we win. I don't think it's going to be easy. I think there could be a lot of shit that goes on in a game like this. Of course, you get North teams together. It's never pretty, Finch. It's never pretty, and I can imagine that it could get ugly in its own way as well.
This is the kind of football we love, though, man.
It is.
Cold weather, hard hitting, hard nose, well-matched teams.
Mm-hmm.
This is great football. This is why we watch.
Aaron says this. It was just a little spittle, guys. What are you talking about? Just a little spittle flying through the air.
Just a little.
Cody says this. I can't open my mouth to that guy, I think is what's being said. RB, he says, this racist shit is way too far. I'm Polish. I hear Polak 5 times a year. The Germans tried to wipe us off the earth. They call me Wop because I didn't have papers, apparently. Oh, that wasn't me. That was 100 years before my time. But anyway, never have I ever felt the anger to need for violence over a word. It's a big topic right now, and I think, as Finch said, he says he feels strong, but there is not one person in this country that doesn't. So, people are going to come back at you every single time it's talked about, and it just seems that be the case. And we got to weather the storm like we always done, guys. Listen, certainly in Pittsburgh, certainly Steeler fans, we've always found a way to stick with our team, stick with the good things, stick with making sure we don't get in those fucked up situations, and we're going to continue to do that. Tortilla says, give Rodgers a perk and let him poke the bear. A perk and poke. I like a perk and poke for this weekend.
I mean, Rodgers versus the Bears, he is very, very strong against the Bears traditionally. So, I mean, we definitely want him in the game this week.
And you know what, people, come on, the gay thing with being Greek. How many times in my life do you think I've been called gay because I'm Greek? Like, how? Come on, that's one of the most insulting things ever.
Is that? I've never heard that before. Is that a thing?
Did you ever heard of doing Greek? Hey, let's get together, but no Greek. That's what that is. It's asphalt.
I've never heard that phrase before.
And
I've honestly
my whole-
never heard that. I mean, I know that the ancient Greeks were known for being homosexual,
That's
but I
what
never
they-
thought of it as an
So
insult.
that racial
way.
term has been used to me at least a million times in my 47. I get it. That's why I'm saying I try to weather the storm every time I can, because I understand that what everybody goes through, and unfortunately, it's not good. So I want to be on the good side and the right side and make things right, and that's what we're going to do today. We're going to move on. Cody says this: I had a guy on a rig ask me for a cigarette. He opened the cigarette and put the tobacco in his mouth like a dip. It was disgusting.
Oh, Jesus.
That is next level shit.
Just smoking a cigarette tastes disgusting. I couldn't imagine ripping one open and doing that. That's
Well, even as I was saying, I don't remember if it was yesterday or today. When you take a chew, when you're a kid, we talked about it earlier.
Yeah,
you're swallowing. And can you imagine tobacco, cigarette tobacco?
Once. It was terrible.
Mark Malone says this: you let the bone complete the
coagulation
process. You know what? I was going to say another word that was similar to that this morning. I went away from it, but it's really irrelevant now. Process of fracture healing. Give it a couple weeks without getting hit. Then you don't have to worry about it.
Mark, I think you're 100% right with that, with the idea of that comment. And for Aaron's health going forward, yes. The only thing that sucks is, do we have a couple of weeks where we can go without our starting quarterback?
When I was talking about
that's the
controversial stuff at the top of the show, I said the porn stars painting titties. I was going to say Mike oscillating his wiener, which oscillate and coagulate, or just oscillating his wiener. That could possibly be going on under the desk that you don't see.
Is that like a helicopter thing?
Like a fan oscillate. Yeah.
I just don't want to think of Mike being a ceiling fan hanging from the roof and
does.
oscillating all over the place.
Tortilla said must have been a Browns fan. Corey says, I wasn't here yesterday. You good, Mike? We concerned about your Mike is good. He's taking a little time to himself, and he's doing some producer work for us right now. But we're giving him a little time, whether it be a day, a week, a month, whatever it is. I don't know. He'll be back.
It takes a long time to shine that head, buddy.
It really, that's a big head.
There's a lot of head there.
That's a lot of shine that you got to find to put on that shit.
A lot of oscillating going on up here.
A lot of oscillation. Corey said, I'm sorry. Tortilla Mike was hired as the DB coach for the Steelers. Mike
who?
Yeah, not sure. We'll continue on.
Please elaborate, Tortilla.
Yinzer Joe says Rodgers isn't missing a game this year. He doesn't care if he has to come out of his wheelchair.
Hey, Rodgers has the right mentality if that's the case, and you gotta love that, right? You gotta love the guy who wants to play hurt and win the games.
I love it. That's the kind of guy we like in Pittsburgh. If you don't like that, I mean, we truly Steeler fans. Absolutely. I mean, we've seen Ben get his nose broken and displaced and even fell off his head at one point, and I'm pretty sure they put it back on like Mr. Potato Head. He went out there, beat the Ravens in that particular game, if I'm remembering correctly.
Ben was kind of a potato head.
Yeah, he was definitely potato head. Tortilla says, not if a team is preparing for him. Rudolph is like an 80% or 80 overall when he doesn't know he's playing. Lindsay, hey, how you doing, Lindsay? Always see you over on Jamal's show. Welcome to the board. Always great to see you on the board.
Hi, Lindsay.
Let's see. Cody's calling her Rimsey. I don't know what that's all about, but maybe Cody and Lindsay could tell us a little more. Corey says this one.
I don't know if we want to know.
When Mason came in, I was ready to write off the game. I was a 30-minute man for about 15 minutes. I've been a 2-minute man. I've been a 3-minute man. I've been a 28-second man.
We're talking about football, right?
Yeah, of course.
Of course.
Why wouldn't we? Mark Malone, keep feeding Warren in Washington. I couldn't agree more. Those two
guys.
Go with
the hot hand, buddy. The hot hand will win.
You want to beat up a team. You want a team, I mean, you're going to, like I said, this is a North game. NFC versus AFC North, guys. You want to beat up the other team, and you want to make it difficult for them to tackle you through the course of 4 quarters. Put the ball in those two guys' hands, guys. Jaylen Warren is the most difficult player to tackle in the league. It is fact. And I mean, come on, if anybody could see Darnell Washington play last week and not think that he is should be in that conversation as well, I think you might be nuts, guys. Put the ball in those two hands. Put the ball in those two guys' hands early, often, and believe me, in the 4th quarter, that team is not going to want to tackle you. We win this game because we could out-physical them. I'm not saying they're not physical. The Bears, the North, all this kind of stuff.
Very physical.
We are the Pittsburgh Steelers, guys. If we put the lick on them like we did last week against Cincinnati, I think we win this game. I truly, it's not going to be pretty. I think.
And when you got bruisers like Warren, like Washington, and they're beating up that defense and they're laying guys down, that gives more opportunity for guys like Gainwell to be able to cut through and slip through the line on a tired defense late in the game and get that big play to win.
Absolutely. Back on the board, Mark Malone says, though, those QBs are all cum guzzlers. Cody says this,
Whew.
hell no. If we lose, it messes up my whole week, especially if it's a game we should win. Tyrone takes the worst. He be showering fully clothed with his jersey on. And you know what? Cody always got the best Jamal scoop. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Dude,
you know,
those two together on their show crack me
they're
up.
great.
It's a roast party. I love it.
they're great. I tuned in. I saw Finch on the show last night. It was a great show, as
I had a fun
always,
time.
over at on Jamal's show.
Gang, gang.
Talking trash with the Steelers gang.
Everybody should subscribe.
Absolutely. I seen you on Derby. You know what? Did you see this the other day? A little bit last week, I talked about the Derpy picking his nose and eating an incident. Did you see on Sunday night Derpy pulling his shirt up to his nipples?
Yes.
What was that? He's all of a sudden this exhibitionist.
I think I was in the middle of a sentence. I was talking.
Yes.
And we were talking about video games.
And you're like,
I
bro.
looked up, he stood up is what happened. And when he stood up, you know how sometimes you sit down, your shirt kind of does that thing where it ruffles up, and sometimes your pants kind of
neck.
It was. I did not see his nipples, but I saw a lot of underboob.
Yes.
And I saw it, and I didn't comment on it at all. I didn't want to make him feel bad because Derpy, at the end of the day, is our friend.
Yeah.
But yeah, trust me, it did not go unnoticed. I'm just glad nobody in the chat brought it up too, because I didn't want poor Derp to feel bad.
All right.
He would have deserved being roasted.
Isn't it odd? I mean, come
it's
on.
kind of funny how his shirt keeps coming off.
Right. At first, it was accidental. Oh shit! I hit the camera. Up there's Derpy with his titties hanging out everywhere. But now Derpy's
still
on.
the nicest pair of tits that's been on this show ever, by the way.
Bro, dude, he's still, he's on there. He's pulled it up and he's smiling and he's having a good time. And you're like, bro, what are you doing? And he finally pulled it down. So again, he went from not being seen on screen to now I can't stop. We can't not see his without a shirt on, dude.
You know how, like, especially when you're younger, you know how you do something that's a little bad or a little against the rules and it's kind of a rush?
You're right.
You know, like if you steal candy from the store or something small like that. I think his rush is now public nudity. Maybe that's a thing that he has found out that he likes. Hey, who are we to pass judgment?
You know what? I mean, all right, let's move on. Let's move on.
I'm trying so hard to be nice to Derpy here.
What you're saying is some people actually like this, and we'll continue to move on. I don't know who they are.
I don't like it.
I think they should be institutionalized, but we're going to move on. PR, I'm sorry, Mark Malone. Mark Malone says this. Pierre has turned it on late. I agree. I agree. And you know what? Who knows better than this journeyman in the secondary? This guy's been here for a couple seasons now. He's, he came in the 2020 year, I do believe, and the COVID year. So there wasn't any, all the things that you do that comes after the draft, all the camps and conditionings and anything like that. He was not involved in. So he's kind of been on this team learning trial by error. And you know what? I hated him the first couple of years. I said, Pierre, every time he's in, we're getting burnt. Every time he's in, we suck. But you know what? The last half a season, James Pierre is stepping it up. And if he continues to play that way, in the way the Steelers do things, next man up motto, guys, he could certainly be a big-time player moving forward. Small doses so far. Don't get me wrong. Nice plays, good coverage on Chase, shutting him down, big interception to nail in the coffin. But at the end of the day, if he keeps that kind of stuff up, he works his way into the starting lineup eventually, because you're eventually not going to have Darius Slay, Jalen Ramsey, every single big name that we took from every team this offseason. So he's a smart guy. He's playing it smart. He's playing well, and he's working his way into the starting rotation. As I said, it might not be this year, but it may be this year. Again, with some of these injuries, and I'm seeing on the board something here shortly. So we'll get into that here shortly as far as Slay goes. But I
like Pierre. Keep it up, buddy. That's all I can say.
I like
You'd
Pierre
like to see people make positive steps in any job, any career. When people make positive steps, the longer they're at that job, they do better. That's what you need to see.
Absolutely. That's what I like about the guy. It's a whole process with him. He's not blue chip. He's not right out the cut. We expect to see you. We're watching this guy work his way up the ladder real time. And for me as a football fan, I enjoy that sometimes, and especially on our team. So good luck to Mr. Pierre moving forward. I'd like to see him in that secondary, especially if he plays the way he did against Cincinnati on Sunday. I want to see him a lot more out there. So
I compared him yesterday to James Harrison in that aspect. Remember James Harrison, practice squad guy? Played for a couple different teams, including the Ravens, and then he finally got his shot, which happened to be against the Ravens, and he had a massive game, and he went on to be one of the most beloved players in the history of the Steelers. I'm not saying that Pierre is going to be as good as him. I'm just saying these things, there's precedent. These things do happen in the NFL. It has happened here, and my gosh, would it be great if Pierre could turn into that kind of player?
You brought up Mr. James Harrison. I have an interesting stat related to Hawk Tua, the Hawk Tua incident that went down on Sunday afternoon here in Pittsburgh between Jamar Chase and Jalen Ramsey. Guys, this is what James Harrison said in response. Quote, he said, "I would have went to jail if I would have been spit on." You know what, James Harrison? I believe it, bro. I seen you literally hurt people that were your friend. You know what I'm saying? These guys are out there playing football with you. I seen you knock guys out, put people.
James would have ripped his arms clean off and took a bite off
that
of
guy's face,
yeah.
dude. You know what? As fun as that sounds to see, because he's my guy, I don't want to see it. I don't want to see what that guy would do to somebody. Have somebody spit in his face. Again, that is a James Harrison quote in regards to what happened with the.
That is so James Harrison.
Absolutely.
That guy. His post-career online presence has been so good.
Yeah.
For being such a hard-nosed guy, a stone-faced dude, the stuff that he says is it's not only insightful, but it's hilarious. And it's like, people actually think this way.
Right.
And you can't argue with it because the guy was a freaking monster. So I love that guy. He's been absolutely great to watch his interviews and stuff. And anything he says, I believe it.
You know what? A lot of people got shitty when he went to New England. I never really got shitty because I always felt business is business, especially in the NFL.
If it wasn't New England, we wouldn't have been as shitty.
Well, exactly.
He went to the enemy. If he'd went and played for New
Orleans
Orleans or something,
or anybody like this,
exactly.
it wouldn't even been. But you know what? I have no problem. I have zero problem. You know what? He's a Steeler through and through. He came back after he retired. He's a Steeler. I mean, he's in our commercials and everything now.
Mm-hmm.
The guy is a Steeler through and through. I love James Harrison. Breaking news right here on the screen. The producer just put up James Harrison as the next.
I did not say that.
Is the next James Harrison, guys. Finch being misquoted like crazy this week, and it continues across.
Putting words in my mouth there, Mr. Thunder.
Doing great work, I gotta say. Behind scenes, doing the great work.
Oh, hey, where'd the ticker go?
it comes and goes. It'll be back.
He took it off there as soon as we called him out.
Let's see. Pierre turned on late. This is what was said. Lindsay said Tomlin's presser. He said if Slay is healthy, he will start. That's what I was referring to, Finch. Thank you for that wonderful comment, Lindsay. A Slay who's been not so great all year, or the hot hand Pierre? Finch, who do you go with for starting Sunday? And if you go with Slay, how long of a leash do you give him before you start seeing more snaps for Pierre? Of course, if he comes in and he's productive, you don't take him out. But just in general conversation, a slumping Slay this year. He was a Super Bowl winner last year. And also what you're seeing from Pierre. Who do you lean in favor of? One's a veteran. One won a Super Bowl. One's been an All-Pro. The other one is still working his way. Which gentleman do you prefer in your defensive backfield when it comes down to it?
I would like to see Pierre get the start because he has earned that opportunity. However, I'm kind of with Tomlin on this one. Slay is your starter. He's a proven commodity. Yes, he's slacking. He probably will start if he's healthy, but you also have that, I don't want to say excuse, but you can lean on that injury to get JP more time, to get Mr. Pierre more time, excuse me. Put him in a split role this week.
Let me just push time out for 1 second. If I hear one more person call him JP, I'm going to lose my mind because how many JPs can we have?
I know. That's why I corrected myself immediately because I immediately thought of Junior. Yeah.
You know what? Somebody went on in a conversation. They said that like 3 times the other night. And I thought, who are they talking about? And it was.
Are they talking about Peasy? Are they talking about? Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. It's just one of those things. We like to initial names. You know what I mean? Mr. Pierre. I'm going to call him Mr. Pierre. He has earned the Mr. this week. Can we agree on that?
You know what? I have a bad habit. I call a lot of people Mr. So that does not mean, I like it.
I'm going with it. Mr. Pierre, he proved himself. He deserves a shot, right? That's what you want to see. You want your backups to come in and play well. Just we talked about Mason Rudolph earlier. You want to see the backups come in and do a good job. And when they've earned that opportunity, you want to give it to them. However, if Slay is healthy, he is your starter. You don't want to make him feel like he's, a failure. Give the guy the start, but do put him in a limited role. Allow Pierre to get more snaps. Pierre doesn't need to start. He just needs to be on the field more often.
I agree.
And I think when you have that 1-2 in any position, when you have a 1-2 thing going on, especially when one of those guys isn't 100% healthy, it's very good to have the option to know that backup guy can come in for a couple plays or a third down and make something happen.
I couldn't agree more. Let me get a couple more things out, Fitch. We have a lot to go over today.
Yes.
We're going to pull up the schedules, the remaining schedule for the Steelers, the Ravens. We got a lot to get into. I have a lot of scoop, a lot of information about this football team here in Bears Week. Again, starting Week 12, Thursday night, they kick off Week 12. So do be sure to get that CBS pick in, guys. Everybody did really well. I'm following along the scores real time and seeing everybody's doing very well. I know that RB is just a fucking monster amongst men. He's up 10 on me at least, and I'm kind of middle of the pack. So, guys, we're going to get to that in just 1 second. As we do, we have to crown a new winner of the week, guys, here in a moment. But let me go over a couple more things, Finch, that I have in front of me. Before we do that, this is the numbers. This is snaps for your wide receiver 2, or is it your wide receiver 2? Roman Wilson's numbers up to 37 snaps last week on the offense. Calvin Austin down to 19 snaps on the offense. That's his lowest amount this year and his lowest amount since 2023. Calvin Austin III. Is his ability to not get open enough? The problem is it his size. What is it? Because catching one ball last week, considering that he's technically the number 2 receiver on the squad, Roman Wilson only has 1 catch as well in this game. But 1 catch for a number 2 receiver, even if you don't use a lot of number 2 receivers, Finch, what in the hell is going on with Calvin Austin and his playing time? Again, this is the least amount of snaps he played since 2023. This past
I really can't comment on it. I'm wondering if there's something behind the scenes going on. You know what I mean?
I don't know. Yeah.
I hope not. I hope it's all on the field, and I hope Tomlin maybe sees, or the coaching staff maybe they see something in Roman that they like, and they want to give him that opportunity. Right. He deserves a chance. I know you were very high on Roman last year, and you really wanted him to play, and obviously he had injuries.
And with that being said, I was big on Calvin Austin as well.
Of course. And Calvin Austin has proved himself to be a steady player, and he is capable of breaking big ones. He's speedy. He's good. I honestly don't have any answers. I can't tell you why he hasn't been showing up so much the last couple weeks. I like to think that they're just trying to get more snaps to Roman. That's what I'm hoping for anyway. You know what I mean? Yeah.
And I generally don't skip up. I'm going to do it just for the sake of this comment. I am seeing down the road here, a recent comment is Yinzer Joe says, no, just like the Thornhill, Slay's play hasn't been up to snuff, as Tomlin would say. But you know what? Thornhill is back. I don't know if you guys caught that on yesterday's show. We cut Thornhill last week because he wasn't up to snuff, is what the term was. Juan Thornhill is back. Is this part of the all hands on deck that I was talking about, Finch, especially as far as the defense goes? We have 500 people in this secondary right now. I'm okay seeing Juan Thornhill come back. He had a bad game or two. I thought he played great early on in the season. So to have him back, at least on the practice squad, works for me. I like, again, I've never seen a secondary built quite like this. I've never seen so many big names in one offseason all come together in one secondary in the NFL in my life. Jabril Peppers and Douglas, Slay, and the Ram. I mean, literally the list goes on. Thornhill, Eccles. I've never seen this in Pittsburgh. I'm liking it. Don't get me wrong. I still want to continue to see the.
And I think that goes back to a point we discussed earlier with this is the year for the Steelers. If we're gonna do it and we're gonna try to go all in, this is the season to do it. In the offseason, we wondered, is this the year? Are we going to do that, or should we try a new rebuild? Because we were still wondering about Rodgers and all that stuff. And the Steelers have proven that, yes, this is the year we're going to go all out. I don't see us holding most of these players next year. So, hey, you're right. All hands on deck. We got to do something. We got to find a way, because this is the
Asante Samuel
biggest. Yes.
The list literally doesn't end. I mean, you can't not like what we're doing.
Listen,
if you say
hope it comes together,
say to yourself, this GM isn't doing enough. You're out of your mind. I mean, could he do more? Absolutely. But you know what? Those guys are literally playing on other teams. He's getting the best possible people. Again, the list of guys I just named on one list, you wouldn't think should be on one football team at one time. So again, do I like what Omar is doing? I love his aggressiveness. Eventually something's going to work out, and he's throwing shit against the wall and seeing what sticks. And you know what? That sometimes leads you to success, because sometimes something sticks. But with that being said, guys, it's time to get to the results of the CBS Pick'ems for this week. If you haven't had a chance yet, join just right outside on the Two Dumb Yinzers page right here on YouTube in blue letters. There's a link. If you're not signed up, it just takes 30 seconds and costs absolutely nothing. Get involved with us and the guys on the board, guys. We got a bunch of guys that we do every week, take all the picks, and it's a lot of fun. Again, we get on the loser, the biggest loser a little bit, and we celebrate the winner a little bit, but everybody else, it's just a good time. So if any issues that they do not occur, we haven't had any Sign up, 30 seconds, a lot of fun, cost absolutely nothing. And now I'm about to give you the results of this week, guys. The CBS Pick'ems from this week looked like this, coming in first with the by way of tiebreaker at the very end with 13 out of 15 games predicted correctly. My man in the next box over, Finch. Finch, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. After being the biggest loser a couple of weeks ago and getting absolutely fucking roasted on this show, it feels good to piss all over everybody else.
Now I have to change all the lyrics and all the songs because I was shitting on his
No, you can keep that. That song is awesome.
All right, we'll leave that. But Derpy, he wins last week. Finch this week. We got a little theme going here. Maybe on the show we could get a couple wins, catch up to some of these leaders.
Maybe it's your turn next week, Rye.
Maybe. Did I see the 6-7 going on over there? Is this what I seen going on in your screen? I don't know, but 6-7, 6-7, 6-7. Finch, you are this week's winner. Let me move on. Number 2.
Isn't Mount Washington also 6-7?
He is 6-7. And score was 6-7 at for a
everything is coming together for the Steelers this year. Even pop culture knows.
That's what I'm saying. F them Bills. Listen, so this was number 2. Number 2, the person that came in directly behind you by way of tiebreaker, this was Corey Beavers. Corey, congratulations. You also 13 correct picks this week. Again, just by tiebreaker. Finch did edge you out on that. So good job to both of you guys. These next few players are always top players in the game. Richard, he ends out with 12, coming in second place for the week on the CBS Pick'ems. Vegas, Mike, RB, Derpy, Yinzer Joe, Tyrone, all with 11 correct out of 15 picks this week, guys. Great job to you. And the next group is this: Somber, myself, Fearless Steel, and Cody. We had 10, which still isn't bad. I mean, that's not a bad week. Everybody above us just did really well. And finally, Jamal. Unfortunately, Jamal, you land in the biggest loser spot. So I'm sure Cody's going to let you have it on that. And you know what? Rightfully so. Who better to give it to you than your boy Cody? But congratulations, Finch. You did it. You are this week's CBS Pick'ems King. Good luck moving forward.
Thank you.
Guys, also this is what the overall statistics look like here. This is kind of what maybe everyone was waiting for. The overall statistics look like this on the season. RB 114 points in the lead, 114. Second, Vegas with 112. Really coming up. He's really coming up strong. Richard 108. Corey Beavers 107. Me 104. Derpy right behind me 103. Finch right behind him 102. Cody 101. Mike 100. Field of Steel 93. And then, of course, the latter guys, they came in a little later. So keep that in mind. Jamal has 41. Tyrone 26. Yinzer Joe 19, and Somber 17. Keep up the good work, guys, because again, Field of Steel finished a little later, and he is he's one good day away from catching the next person. So keep it up, guys. Just right on our main page, right on here on YouTube, there is a blue link at the very top. Hit it. 30 seconds, cost nothing. Make your picks every week. It's a lot of fun, and we'll continue, guys. Don't forget to get them in before the Thursday game. You don't want to miss a single game, especially if you come down to it comes down to you and one other person. You don't want to miss that game, Finch.
Absolutely. Be the guy.
Let's get back into it, everybody. Let's get into it. I'm going to go right about here. I'm going to go right here because I think this is where we're at. And this is funny, actually. You know what? It's a couple prior to that, but here we go. Tortilla says, shit, we're screwed. Cody says, maybe Rogers needs a week out to get his old body back to 100%. He was throwing ugly balls on Sunday. He was. Not,
yes, he was.
This one here is what I thought was funny. Cody, whether she is or she isn't, Cody says Lindsay is the biggest Slay fan. And then she follows it up by saying, yep, Cody, I am. So good for her. And you know what? There's no reason not to be a big fan. He's just kind of having a little bit of a bad time. Overall, a pretty damn good corner. And
that's why I said he deserves the benefit of the doubt. If he's healthy, he should start, but we should definitely give more snaps to Mr. Pierre.
Absolutely. I'm loving me some James. You got to go with the hot hand again. Until James Perrier fucks up something beyond recognition, you got to go with the hot hand, especially with his youth in this league. Some of these older guys, they're great, and they've been there, done that, but sometimes you need that youth as well. And that's
can't gain experience without experiencing the game, right?
You're sure right. Mike Carr, what's up, brother? Always great seeing Mike on the terrible board. He says this: Mason has always been good in my opinion. Don't think he never got a real chance. Numbers in Tennessee, not great, but 4 interceptions were tips. But you know what? He's been a successful backup quarterback. Say what you want. he could probably beat Charlie Batch in Detroit in the old days. I mean,
I really think that too, man.
you know what I mean? He's
I
not
think that
dumb.
is his role, and I think
He's
he
a
can
smart guy.
he can
is a
shine in that
successful
role.
backup. But you know, that's just kind of where I see him. I don't know if he has to step in and win games for us, it's going to be what it is. Again, we ever going to say, damn, I wish Charlie Batch would have got in there and took over the team. I don't think that that's what he is. I think that Mason Rudolph is what he is, and he's good at it. If he has to come in and
Exactly.
Finch, he made plays. He came in last week and made plays.
Yes, he did.
He
Like
didn't
a good backup does.
You know, so again, Mike, I don't disagree with you entirely.
And that doesn't mean that he can't go on and have a great starting future. I mean, Steve Young was a backup for a couple of years at one point too. You know what I mean? Aaron Rodgers was a backup.
At some point, you also got to think that Mercury Mason, he's getting, he's not exactly young anymore either. So
no, he's in his 28 or 29, whatever.
Can he be that guy? Let's see.
He deserves a shot. As long as he goes in and plays well whenever he's called, that's all. That's the most we can ask. Yes,
that's all I worry about.
I just don't feel that he can do it every single day. That's what I'm getting at there.
Cody says this. Did he really say that though? What the fuck? I'm not sure. What was that referring to? I'm sorry. I apologize, Cody.
Lindsay replied to him, said he did, but I'm not exactly sure.
Okay. Lindsay said
I must have said something stupid. Probably said something dumb.
Also, Mike Carr says Rodgers, and I am a big fan, just hasn't looked that good, especially lately. His feet in the pocket, not seeing the field, running into sacks, missing passes, nothing but check downs, Russ 2.0. I think he's definitely better than Russ 2.0 just by the 18, 19 touchdowns that he has. And there are things that I think he brings that are better to the table than Russ. But again, I get what you're saying. But again, I think Mike, he was our best option this particular year with what we had left. We passed up on a Sam Darnold. We passed up on Daniel Jones. We passed up on guys that moved all over the place and is having somewhat success. So again, for what it is, I think this was probably the best option. And could we think of anybody that could have had us in a better position? And that's saying something. Again, we are 6-4, but Russell Wilson was kind of a disaster, in my opinion.
It's a shame, too, because I like him.
Absolutely.
And I wanted him to do well. And he started off well. But, hey, man, it's history. It's in the past.
Vegas says Finch. Also, Vegas follows it up by saying, how could he say he didn't do it when we – that's been my problem with it from second one. The second I seen the video, I thought, bro, is done. Just shut up. Do what you got to do. He's appealing it. And his appeal, guys, is – if I wanted to spit on him, I would have spit in his face. But you seen the loogie, I seen the hawk to it, just like everybody else did. So again, but I said this as well. I also did say this yesterday, Finch. The way he worded it, he actually did incriminate himself by saying, "I didn't spit on nobody." So in the English language, he did by saying, "I did not
double
spit
negative
on nobody." He did. So maybe he's smarter than everybody else, and he admitted it in plain sight. But yeah, go ahead, Finch. I think Finch got to go take a coffee piss.
Yep.
All right, my man.
I'll be back in 2 minutes.
Absolutely. I'm going to stay on the board here and caught up. Tortilla, Slay should play some gravity defense and sit down. John says, what's up, John? Big John Stubb. My man, he says, this Rodgers stats are worse than Wilson's this time. I know they are. I think the touchdowns is the one thing that really bends this opinion of mine. Mark Malone said he'd only missed one game. Yinzer Joe says, Chase ain't opening his mouth to Ramsey because he's a spitter. Echelon, hey, what's up, dude? Great seeing Echelon motion pictures on the terrible board as always. He says, chalk it up as a loss this week. If you think otherwise, you actually have been asleep the entire season. I don't want to hear be optimistic. We are not a good team, and we were terribly coached. And I couldn't agree more with a lot of the things he said. However, it's an odd year. I seen the Browns beat Green Bay. I seen the Giants beat the Eagles. This is the year, guys, that, again, I generally don't disagree with what you're saying, Echelon, but the one thing that I do know is this kind of has been an anything kind of goes year, and this plays to the Steelers' advantage, I think. Phil Steele says, what's up, Watt fans? The stash. Field of Steel is calling. He's calling for Mercury, Mason Mercury, with the stash comments, Finch. Welcome to Field of Steel. Always great to see you.
Yeah, he really wants Mason. He really wants Mason.
Echelon motion. And again, I don't disagree with this comment either. He says, as soon as we play the Bills, you will see how bad we are. And I don't disagree with that. And I've said that all season. And I've held the Bills to a high standard as they weren't looking great. As the Patriots took over that division, as they lost to the Patriots, as all these things, I continue to say the Bills are the standard, and I continue to say that. And I think that the Bills game will probably be the ugliest game of the year for the Steelers. But again, let's say you get into the playoffs. Let's say the Bills play another team in the first round. They get upset. Again, this is a goofy year. If things go the way that it looks, and you go with, we're gonna the best teams are gonna win. I think the Bills are gonna be your best team from the AFC. Name a team, not record wise, but from watching football, who's a better team in the AFC than the Bills? I don't know if anybody is right now. But again, it's one of them goofy years. We could stick with we could stick with that and say, all right, they're gonna win, it's over, or we could watch football for the next 3 months and watch it play out, and maybe something could go our way. Tortilla says I meant Vanilla Thunder, my fault. No flag either on Vegas. Field of Steel says this Fincher, his big words, please elaborate, Finch. We from the hood. Geez, say what you mean. Also, Mark Malone says we might need old Rogers come January. Rimsey. Jamal saying Rimsey again with his Rimsey. Mark Malone, shit, I've been a two pumper, right? I've been over before the game even began before, believe me. I've been a no pumper. Cody says Tyrone said Lindsey and Ramsey at the same time, so it came out Rimsey. I got you.
Ah, okay.
And it sounds hysterical.
It sounds like a really terrible nickname for Lindsey, to be honest with you.
Gang, my man Jamal. Field of Steel says the experiment is over. The stash. We want the stash, is what Field of Steel is saying. He loves himself some Mason Mercury, Finch. Let me give you some more interesting numbers if you'd like, guys. The Pittsburgh Steelers right now are currently 35%, albeit they are at the top of the division. They are only a 35% chance to make the playoffs. And this week on the official ESPN ranking, Finch, they lingered right around that mid range again, 16. As a matter of fact, exactly midpoint this week in the ESPN top 32 rankings in the NFL. Steelers not moving up any, staying at 16 with the win over the Bengals. Again, 35% chance to make the playoffs, Finch. Halfway point overall, all in all, how you feel about this football team? What's your overview at the halfway point for you? Where do you see it going? Is it going to be a lot of the same to finish it out? Can you see the Steelers picking up momentum? Do you see us falling off? All three of those options are on the table at this point.
If the Steelers continue to do what they've been doing, I feel that we are going to pick up some momentum. But man, that Bills game is going to be a tough one.
And that's the thing. Nobody's doubting that. If you're going to,
and another schedule, game.
I think 99% of the people puts that as an L on their schedule anyway.
And you know what? I'm going to probably put the Ravens on there at least. You know what I mean? Like the Ravens are the Ravens again. They're not the greatest team by any stretch, but that it was a little fluky for them early in the season. They lost a couple of games they shouldn't, and now they're coming back, and they scare me. They do, because they are the Ravens. Now, Lamar is not playing up to Lamar standards, and that's definitely an advantage for us. But those are games that kind of bug me a little bit. However, the rest of the schedule, I don't feel bad about it. I know we're capable of beating the Bears. We got the Browns. You know what I mean? I think we're trending up, but I think we might have to fall back to ground before the end of the season, and hopefully we can recover from that when it happens.
All right. Cody says, what up, gang? Also, let me go. All right here. Lindsay says this. She says, hello, like the show. And Tyrone tried to say Lindsay and Ramsey at the same time. We thank you. Appreciate that, Lindsay. And you know what? That's pretty funny. So you're now Ramsey, I guess. It's just by default. It's nothing against you. It's just you have to come on, and your name became Rimsey. So I don't imagine my mind could ever do anything else.
Isn't that how the best nicknames come about? Is somebody just says something silly or whatever, and it just sticks? Absolutely.
Welcome to the show, Rimsey. We love to have you. Welcome aboard. Cody says, what up, gang? Lindsay said, hey, Jamal. Corey says, this, what I want to know is why the fuck are we having Washington run the ball on the tush push? I know, for one, he's pushing the guy. Can you imagine if he was being tush pushed? He's the only big motherfucker in the league that can push for a first and pull his team for one at the same time. Laughing my ass off, Corey. Great comment. And I agree. I if we don't see this guy on the goal line doing a refrigerator parry, again with the Bears reference, Finch, giving him the ball on the goal line at some point this year, I think it's a crime, because, again, just by default, I think this guy scores. You go to wrap him up, just reaches his arm across the goal line. There's not much you could do to get this guy, to stop this guy on a short space. You know what I mean? He's just so big to even get him, grab him, contain him, try to tackle him. He's just so large, Finch. I want to see that before the season's over. I would love to see a Darnell Washington refrigerator Perry type touchdown run.
That would be amazing.
Would love it. Vegas says that was a nice one-handed catch by Gainwell in the pass. He took like 30. It was. Gainwell's a beast.
He is silently becoming one of my favorite players on this offense.
And who would have thought you got Slay and you got Gainwell come over from the Eagles? Who would have thought that Gainwell would be the guy that we're oohing and awing over? But come on, he's been consistent every time he's touched the ball. He's never let us down. And as Jalen Warren goes down last week, he was able to step up and put up great numbers, certainly from the receiving side of things. So we do like a lot of Kenneth Gainwell certainly moving forward.
When you need to gain well, you call on Gainwell.
That's right, baby. Yeah.
Yeah.
Phil Steele says if the stash goes on Sunday, Steelers 70, Teddy Bears 13.
I think he said Teddy Bears negative 13.
Negative 13.
I don't know how that's possible, Phil, but if it is, please, I want to see it.
Well, I think it's the mustache slapping him back to the negative part. It's just the negative, and the mustache slaps it back into the negative. Echelon says this, at Field of Steel, the stash you speak of has been a backup his whole entire career and barely beat Duck Hodges. Also, he ran the same plays and did nothing. The defense won the game. So he disagrees with you there from Echelon. Vegas says this. He was drinking milk. Who's drinking milk? I apologize on that.
Who, the stash? Was it a milk stash? Is that
it
what
a
you're
milk
saying?
stash? Phil Steele, if Rogers goes Sunday, Steelers 3, Teddy Bears 2. Back to the 3-2 game.
Still winning, though.
Still winning. We'll take that.
We'll take the W.
Vegas says breastfed himself.
Are we talking about Derpy?
You know what? I'm starting to think we are talking about Derpy with the breast and the titty.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about Derpy breastfeeding. Let's change the subject.
Tortilla says his 6'7", he could just reach over the line. Absolutely,
he's got arms like Stretch Armstrong, bro. It's just
if little AB got his little ass arm across the line on that immaculate extension. Can you imagine? Can you imagine what Stretch Armstrong will do with his long ass arm? He'll be at the 10-yard line. Just also, this I want the stash, baby. Phil the Steel is heavy on the stash, man. He wants that mustache ride, Finch. Vegas says this King Derpy is too sexy for his shirt.
I'm too sexy for my derp. Too sexy for my derp.
Mark Malone saying the stash man should play Sunday as well. Phil the Steel. Oh yeah, Teflon Dawn sucks. Hang it up, Teflon Dawn. Cody says this Jalen Ramsey is going to be here for like the next 4 years.
I wouldn't hate that idea.
You know what? I love the play. I love his intensity. I love his skill. I love what he knows. But again, he's not young, so we're gonna want to kind of be careful on that as well. Because how many guys in their upper 30s,
right,
in lower 40s, do we actually want on this team? We want to get better, and I think getting better is gonna you're gonna have to resort to youth at some point, in my opinion. Cody says this, and I think that his deal gets cheaper as time goes on. Field of Steel says, "See, Finch, I told you." He said, SDFU, shit, I'm old school, G Steeler Nation, and I ain't STFU. F no, I want the stash. Give him a shot, and I know 2 will step up, and Teflon Dawn sucks. That goes back to their disagreement the other night. Mark Malone says, I bet Chase wouldn't have spit on Harris. Dude.
If he values his life, he wouldn't have, that's for sure.
Oh, could you imagine? And being a Bengals division game, James Harrison would have ate him. He would have ate that man.
It would have been ugly. We're talking about a guy who who knocked out a fan pre-game once too,
and he loved every second.
And he loved every minute of it, and he still likes talking about it. So, yeah.
Phil the Steel says, and 92 wants 2 out of there. 92 said he's my dog. He wants him out there. He wants Mason Rudolph out there. Also, Yinzer Joe says, well, Slay probably isn't too happy that Pierre is playing, of course, about to lose his job. So, yeah, now all of a sudden Slay's getting healthy and he'll be back. So we'll see how that plays out. Cody says Aaron Rodgers and Mike Tomlin, the GOAT. Lindsay saying, Cody, laughed my ass off. Vegas says this, James just wanted to play ball. James just wanted to play ball, and Coach T wasn't playing him over TJ. Field still says that Ryan 92 wants 2 out there. He said, that's my dog. You know what? We'll see. He just might be out there again. Aaron Rodgers, as of right now, as Coach said this afternoon, will not be practicing tomorrow. It's tough once you miss Wednesday practices, guys. But again, Aaron's been a different beast, so we will see. We'll continue to follow that. All hell vanilla right there on the board. Vegas says all hell vanilla. Cody says, don't let the Mason Rudolph play his Don't let Mason Rudolph play his stash is stupid.
I like his stash. I think he's got a pretty sweet stash.
Miss Pittsburgh, here we go, Steeler Nation. I do want to say welcome to the board to Miss Pittsburgh. Always great to see new faces and new names. Welcome to the terrible board. Feel free to comment as you like. Here we go, Steelers. Feel the Steel says, Vanilla, I got 2 words for you. Suck it. That's right, Vanilla.
I will always take the opportunity to bust out a DX suck it when we can. It's a good time.
Exactly.
Remember running around middle school doing that shit and getting yelled at.
Miss Pittsburgh said, yes, sir. Yinzer Joe, nah, just like Thornhill Slay plays, hasn't been up to snuff, as Tomlin would say. And it hasn't. You're right. Hey, don't get me wrong, though. Listen, I think Thornhill could get back in the swing. We have a lot of depth, though. We have that going for us. So if one guy isn't playing well, there's a lot more people in that secondary, guys. This is the most stacked secondary I've seen in Pittsburgh in my lifetime. Easy. Feel the Steel says, talking trash at Jamal. He says, loser. Oh, man. I knew he was going to give it to him. I knew Cody was going to give it to Jamal. Vegas said Calvin had 2 passes go through his hands that ended up as interceptions. That's not good. That's probably why the numbers are going down.
Yes.
Cody says, does Calvin Austin wear Darnell Washington's helmet, or is he just that small? Have you ever seen them 2 guys standing next to one another? Austin and Washington, God.
It's a freak the mighty situation.
It's like when you take your kid for a walk down the street, Finch, is what it looks like. It's just...
you would think they'd be holding hands when they walk across the field.
Right. Sorry. Yeah, exactly. RV says this. Calvin has the National Clown Competition coming up while he's working on his juggling. They don't feel it's a good idea to have him trying to catch passes this close to the juggling world championship. When is he going to close them hands? There's been a lot of juggling, a lot of just catch the ball, dude. I don't know what his problem is. Again, down
100%, 100% right on that, buddy.
19 snaps last game, guys. That is his lowest amount since 2023. So keep that in mind. Phil the Steel says, I want the stash. We want the stash. We want the stash. We want the stash. Follows that up by saying, if Teflon Dawn lasts a life, if it's Teflon Dawn's last lifeline, an experiment. Cody says, Mike Tomlin for life. Tortilla says, when? He says, when? When is Juan Valdez getting called up? This week, maybe? Williams got hurt. Maybe we'll see some Marquez, Valdez, Scantling guys. We don't know. Asante Samuel, also another name we're certainly keeping a close eye on moving forward. Tortilla, no, Mark Malone says Derpy's always cheating, though. He is. Even last year and the year before, Mike was always on him for cheating.
Oh, yeah.
So you got to really watch him.
It was bad.
Mark Malone says Myron should have been harder on the old Derp. Well, next time he comes around, we'll have to give him this shit. I know Myron gets busy up there, so.
Yoy.
What a humble victor.
I think Phil's talking about me when you announced that I was the winner this week.
Oh, okay.
I did one of these, and I think that's what he was just talking about there.
Gotcha. Ms. Pittsburgh says, yes, sir. Vegas says,
yes,
for information, if 2 people were tied for first, there is no second place.
That's true. It would be 1, 1, and 3. That is correct.
Well, you know what? He didn't. The reason he's second place is because he didn't win the tiebreaker. So that
exactly
puts him
right too. So we weren't technically tied. Yes.
Right.
You're right. That's why we have a tiebreaker.
Also, Phil the Steel says we all know 10 and above is great. That's the standard. We also know that Mason Rudolph and Team B put up the same amount of points as Team A Finch in the game over the weekend. But the defense.
That's what you want to see.
The defense was the difference maker again, putting up 14, almost scoring out the both of them together. I'll see. Jamal lose. Cody loves this. He did this last time this happened.
Loser.
Jamal says, laugh my ass off always.
Loser.
Phil the Steel says, Vegas, bring the questions. At Vegas, bring the questions. Cody says the standard is the standard. Miss Pittsburgh says, I don't want Rodgers back. I want to keep Rudolph in there. You know what? It's split, guys. I didn't know how this was going to go. I didn't know if people, would like to see more Mason. But one thing you got to remember, guys, that was the 32nd best defense in the league. So, albeit they had both scored 10 points, Aaron Rodgers' offense and Mason Rudolph's offense, at the end of the day, when you play a better defense that's not 32, I want the know-how of Aaron Rodgers back there. That's my leaning factor. Again, can Mason Rudolph know how to go out and do all the things that he needs to do against the defense that's maybe 7th against the defense that may be 15th in the league. Again, that was 32. You got to give that wiggle room again as a backup playing against that team. But again, as I said, he managed to match the same score as the other guy, which is a good sign. So again, I think it comes down to that. You got to look at that 32nd ranked defense is kind of where I'm basing my judgment on. I want the guy with experience at this point. At this point.
All we can ask for Mason Rudolph is when his name is called that he goes in and plays well. And he's proven himself so far with what we saw last week. That's what we need. We need just whoever's on the field to do their jobs.
Absolutely. Let me get caught up on a couple of these things. I have some things we're going to get into, and we're going to pull out the schedules for the rest of the year for the Steelers and the Ravens. We're going to take a look at this and see how realistic it is. Because again, when the Ravens were 1-4 and we were 4-1, I said, guys, these guys are not done. They had literally the 3 hardest games to start a season. Believe me, we wouldn't have started well either playing. Who was it? They played
the Bills,
the Chiefs,
and the Packers, right?
Somebody. It was 3 tough games right off the cut, and I said, you know what? Watch this, guys, because again, we're playing easy teams. We beat the Jets. They lost to the Lions.
Right.
So, it's going to come around, and here we are, guys, and it's going to come down to right around the time when we play them here in a few weeks, the Ravens I'm talking about. This is going to be a hell of a finish between these two teams, providing one of the two teams, either way, doesn't shit the bed finish. If both teams kind of stay on the course that they're on, these 2 Raven games coming up through the second half of the season should be killer games.
And that's just the way of things in the AFC North, is it not?
Yes.
It seems like these two teams, when they're both consistently great, or even if they're consistently not great for a season, they always seem to be about on the same level, and it always ends up being just wonderful football.
And for anybody that disagrees with that, I mean, obviously the past 5 years, the Ravens have been better. They've had an MVP quarterback. The Ravens had gone to the playoffs and it did more things. But we won 8 games in a row against them as they were going through this process, Finch.
And we were still making the playoffs, too. We were still the wild card guy.
The second game against them last year, we won 8 games in a row. This is a team that had the MVP. That's a
crazy stat. When you consider how good they've been, exactly, the MVP, that's insane.
It really is. So that's why I'm not afraid of the Ravens. But again, as Finch said, they could be good. We could not be vice versa. It's going to be a good game. I think these two come down. They're going to be classics this year. It's going to decide a lot of things, guys, because I don't think the second place team from this division goes to the playoffs. First place team gets in because they get the at-large. But again, you're right around 500. Everybody else is already above that. So all the wild card teams are already kind of picking their pieces. Whoever falls out of this race in the AFC North probably doesn't make the cut, unfortunately. So these games are going to be even bigger. It starts this week with the Bears, guys. 1 week at a time. Figure out how to win this Bears game, then you're going to be in better shape when it gets to that time, guys. We can't look ahead.
Got to be 60-minute men, guys. You got to be 60 minutes.
Got to be 60 minutes.
Don't look 8 weeks ahead. Look 60 minutes ahead.
Also, this right here is said. Miss Pittsburgh, she did say she wants Rudolph, and that is followed up by this. She also says Rudolph sat back there and watch Big Ben. Hey, dude, he has. He's watched back. He sat back there and watched a lot of football. The guy, he should know his shit, right?
I said this earlier. I think Mason Rudolph's brain is in the right place for football.
Right.
I think he has a solid mind. He's reasonably quick with his reads. You see his head looking all over the place, just like Aaron does, just like a great quarterbacks do. It's his physical ability that limits him. I'm not saying he's incapable. I'm not saying that at all. I want him to be a great player for this team. I just don't think that right now, at this moment, that you pull Aaron in favor of Mason without at least a few more examples.
All right, guys, we're going to do a couple things here, and then we're going to pull up some schedules, Finch, and look at how this is going to play out.
Yes.
Again, this has a classic written all over it. Some interesting scoop and news that we do have. Some PFF guys, I hate the PFF, but I know that a lot of people like them, so I do bring it up every week. This was how some of the more notable scores rankings went in the PFF this week for Steelers. Rudy coming in and, catching a lot of people's attention and a lot of people's hearts. But Rudy with a 59.8. 59.8 on this week's PFF, guys. JPJ with a 74. Jaylen Warren, even after getting injured, he scores a high 91.2. And then over on the defensive side of the ball, Cam Hayward with a 90.4. That, again, is why I call them crazy. And, again, there a lot of times their numbers don't make sense, but people use them to say, well, this number is this number is that. Sometimes they really make no sense, but there you go. That's some PFF numbers. Also, this is also interesting, guys. Chris Boswell needs only 135 points to become the Steelers' all-time scoring leader. He's that close. Chris Boswell, 135 points. Yes, it's going to, it's obviously not going to happen over the next couple of weeks, but he's been in his career. He could very easily be the all-time leading scorer, guys, for the Steelers, with 135 more points. And again, a team that kicks a lot of field goals. I like his chances. And finally,
and hopefully more extra points in the future too.
Absolutely. And Peyton Wilson, guys, 84. He has 84 combined tackles through 10 games. He's on pace for 142 tackles. Guys, right now, the leading all-time tackler with combined tackles is James Ferrier. In 03, he had 141, and that is the most. Peyton Wilson is on pace for 142. Again, 84 through 10 games, 7 games left. Timmons, second place right now, 135 combined tackles in 2010. James Ferrier back in 08 did it 133 times. Timmons back in 2014 did it 132 times. In fifth place on this chart is Patrick Queen. Last year, 129 total tackles. So, guys, Peyton Wilson is he's on pace. The guy's everywhere. No two ways about it. Sometimes he's a little bit behind. Sometimes he's right in the play. Any way you look at it, Peyton Wilson always seems to have his arms wrapped around somebody on the other
consistent.
team. He's consistent.
That's what you need.
Absolutely, guys. So with that being said, let me ask you this as I pull up my next page, Finch, for you, just to ask you before we do move forward,
yes.
Is Nick Herbig every down back to you now? Nick Herbig, of course, leading this team in sacks. Nick Herbig was a liability early on. Hey, if Alex Highsmith don't play, who's going to play on that side to stop the run? Nick Herbig can certainly help stop the run, we've learned. Nick Herbig, to you, Finch, is he a everyday player for this Pittsburgh Steelers defense?
I expect big things from Herbig. Yes, he's capable. He's showing it. He's playing consistently well. He's improving as the season goes on. He steps in. He is the next man, and he's crushing that role. Give him a shot, man.
He certainly has this undersized charm to him. There's just something about him. You look at him out on the field, and you're like, fuck, he's half the size of Cam. He's a quarter of the size of Y.A. Black, but he just has a motor on him that just doesn't stop. My God, the guy.
He has a nose for the football as well.
Yes.
I think he has a little bit of that instinct that guys like Polamalu and that had, where it's like, no matter if they could have their eyes closed, they could smell where the ball is. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
He has that. It's a blood in the water type thing. And
you can't
as long
teach
as he
that. Some players,
smart,
they develop it. Some people have it. You can't teach that.
It's awareness. I mean, it's the same thing with wide receivers who do toe taps on the sideline.
Right.
Some guys can just do it, and some guys just can't. It's an awareness thing, and he has it. There's a little bit of magic there that he has got, and hopefully it leads to more playing time and more big sacks and tackles in the future.
All right, Finch, with that being said, we're going to get to these schedules for the remainder of the year. I'm going to go over and start with the Baltimore Ravens, then we'll come back to the Pittsburgh Steelers. This is what the Ravens have looking for going down the pike, getting ready to finish up this season, guys. We're 10 games in, 7 games left, more than halfway through. So this is what I was talking about. As they were playing the Bills, and as they were playing the Chiefs, and as they were playing the Lions in those first 3 games, this is the team that we got. They get the Jets at home. So again, we're starting to face our Bills. We're starting to face our Lions. We're starting to face. They're getting the Jets. They're getting the Bengals. They're getting. I think let's hold that thought, because there's some better teams at the end of their schedule than I thought there were. And let's get to it, Finch. Their next game this week, Jets at home. I think a totally winnable game, and I think a game that I think they would be quite disappointed with if they do not pull it off. Then they have the Bengals at home, which again at home for them. You got to like that. Then they play us, then the Bengals again. But these last 3 games, the last 3 games for the Ravens is what makes this interesting to me.
Yes.
So say we beat them in the first match. Now they have the burden of trying to beat the Patriots.
Yep.
The Packers
in Green Bay,
and then us again at home in Pittsburgh.
That's tough, man.
That is tough. I didn't consider those last 3 games. These next 4 are the ones that I had in my mind: the Jets, the Bengals, the Bengals the second time, and then 1 Steeler game. I'm going to chalk that up as 1-1, just to be fair. But those last 3 games, guys, the Patriots, the Packers, and then the Steelers in a final deciding game in Pittsburgh, that could be pretty tough, Finch. It's a little bit more difficult for them down the stretch than I initially gave them credit for.
It's kind of wild that their season schedule was bookended like this, with great opponents at the beginning, great opponents at the end. One thing I will say, the Bengals started the season.
The beginning of the year, you would have never thought New England would have been in this conversation.
Absolutely. Drake May has been wonderful, and they're coaching up there and everything. It's Mike Vrabel, right?
Yes.
got to appreciate what they've done. I mean, we hate that organization as Steeler fans and what they've done to us for 25 years, but you have to appreciate the on-the-field product. And I've always been a fan of Mike Vrabel. I liked him when he played for the Patriots. I always thought he always says the right things. I liked him when he was coaching. I believe it was the Titans a few years ago. They did not do great by any stretch, but
he's a former Steeler. You always got to give the former Steeler the benefit of the doubt.
And he says the right things. He has a good attitude. He's a tough guy. I like him. I wish him well. I just wish. Hey man, if something happens in a few years and Tomlin loses his job or gets fired or he retires or whatever, I would be happy to have Mike Vrabel coaching our team.
Absolutely. And listen, he's one of these guys that I figured would be good in New England. He just kind of has
and they love him there. I mean, he's a hero. He's a legend there.
He has a Belichick demeanor too. He stays to himself. He's quiet. He gets successful. There's just something about him. I knew he would be a good coach in New England. So good for him. And let's hope that he could certainly get the win against the Ravens to help us out down the road. But guys, this is what our schedule looks like the rest of the way. We go off to Chicago. It's not going to be easy. It's winnable for us. It's not going to be easy by any means. I expect this to be a crazy game. After that finish, then we host the Bills, a game that I think nobody's looking forward to just because we've seen the last 10 Bills games and they haven't gone well for us. Then after that, we're then off to Baltimore. Then the Dolphins, who's won a couple games in a row. Now, then they come to Pittsburgh, then off to Detroit to play the Lions on the road.
Yes, hard game there, tough one.
Then we stay on the road and play against Cleveland, who's got I think one of the better defenses in the league, in my opinion. And then finally, we wrap it up at home against the Ravens. So let's look at these final teams: the Bears, the Bills, the Ravens, the Dolphins, the Lions, the Browns, and the Ravens again. Finch, what team would have an advantage, in your opinion, by what they have remaining left in their schedule?
The Steelers probably have the schedule advantage. Sure, we play the Bills. Sure, we play the Ravens again or twice, and the Lions. I guess it is a little tougher than I thought. Yeah, it's hard to say.
I think it's a little easy for them. Their tough teams are New England and Green Bay. Our tough teams are Buffalo and Detroit.
That's true. Buffalo and Detroit.
And we've already played those two teams. They've already played these two teams. Right. We went 1-1. We lost to the Packers. We beat New England. And so again, this could very well come down to this last game of the season. And certainly, if that's a consideration, this first one coming up on December 7th, our next game after Buffalo, this should be huge as well. And it's going to be in Baltimore, so it's not going to be any easy environment for the Steelers. It should be big and very important for us.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I love that the NFL switched up their scheduling a few years back to where the last couple of games of the season are always a divisional game.
Yeah,
because when you have that, and it just makes that last game so much better. And we've been seeing this in the last couple of years where we needed to beat, say, the Browns. We needed to beat the Ravens to get that playoff spot. And it amps up the intensity. It makes for great football. And this is what you want. You want your team to be there at the end and to have to play your rival, to beat your rival to get into the playoffs or to win a division. I mean, that's brilliant. I love it. And I think you're 100% right. I think it does come down to that game on January the 4th. It's going to be a barn burner, bro.
December 7th, January 4th. Circle them on your calendar. Two big Ravens games. If our team's going to go to the playoffs and even give us the glimpse of possibly a successful playoff run, a playoff win, whatever you expect your Steelers or want your Steelers to do, these Raven games will be important, guys. Mark them on your calendar. 12-7-1-4. Put it down. Let's get back on the board, guys. As we were rounding third on the show here today, Phil still says same thing for the stash, Finch. Let the stash grow. LT, let two play and see what's up. Phil still says this at Ms. Pittsburgh. You a miss, but you talking football, Steeler lady. That's right. Steeler lady's been on fire, as Phil still says in his next comment. This is Miss Pittsburgh. You are on fire, and I agree. Great questions for Miss Pittsburgh. Christopher, what's up, my man? Always great seeing Christopher. I tell you what, I don't. Did you ever see a person and he just put you in a good mood? For whatever reason, it's Christopher. Don't get me wrong. Everybody does in the sport. Christopher is a name that sticks out to me every day. He kind of comes in later, but he kind of gives me this new energy as the show is on that part of the show.
He usually makes great comments too, and that helps.
Absolutely. But again, I love everybody on the board. But Christopher, absolutely, my man, always great to see. He says, "Hey, fellas, after James Pierre had the game of his life, stubborn-ass Tomlin will put old-ass Darius back in a starting role according to his press conference. Anyone surprised?" You know what? We had this
I'm not
conversation
surprised.
earlier.
Not surprised at all.
We had this
I'm not
conversation
surprised.
earlier.
Not surprised at all.
I'm not surprised. And my opinion was you go with the hot hand. And I was kind of leaning toward Pierre. Finch, what was your take on that?
That was it. I thought that if Slay is healthy, he should definitely start. That doesn't mean that he needs to take all the snaps or
Right.
even the majority of the snaps. I just feel like we need to split his time a little bit more. Not only because Pierre has been improving and doing well, and Slay was kind of slumping, but also for Slay's injury. Just get him a few less snaps so he just has less of a chance of re-injuring himself.
Absolutely. All right,
You got to feel good about that position right now.
Here we go, Steelers Nation. Ms. Pittsburgh says this. That's right. Here we go, Steeler Nation. Trevor Jones. I do want to say welcome back to the show. Trevor says this. Always great to see you on the board. He says, I think regardless of who our quarterback is, Arthur Smith's offense is limited. I do too. They built it
Can't argue
limited.
it, man. It's a hard one to argue. You're right.
They built it limited. They're far from having a number 2 receiver. If one of these guys were close to being a number 2 receiver, and that means to me having more than one catch a game,
yeah,
maybe the argument's different. But again, guys, it's built limited, so it is limited. We're expecting number 2 results from these guys, and I think one catch a game certainly doesn't fall into that category. I think you're right, Trevor. Great comment.
That's exactly right. Exactly right.
Phil says shit 92 wants 2 in there. That's his dog. Lindsay says, wow, what a great appeal. Laughed my ass off. Always loved Rimsey's comments on the board. Also quickly becoming some more of my favorites. Let's see what's going on right here. Right here. Tortilla says Chase still had a little spit on his beard when he said that. when he was saying he didn't spit on anybody. He had slob all over his fucking face.
That might be my favorite comment today so far.
That was a good one. Trevor, my man, he says without King Henry, he struggled. I agree. That's always been my comment. Yeah, it's been my comment everywhere. Because right now, I don't think Baltimore Ravens are even in the conversation if they don't have Derrick Henry. But Derrick Henry was such a big part of that Tennessee Titans, and that's what everyone fails to leave out. Arthur Smith, when he was coaching in Atlanta, he had 3 7-10 records. So let's do C. Vegas says this. Danny DeVito was born on this date in 1944. Owen Wilson.
Is Danny DeVito really 81 years old?
That is truly unbelievable.
That is unbelievable. But if you think about it, like the first time I remember ever seeing him in anything was the movie Twins. You remember that movie? Right?
Oh yeah.
Sure, and that came out when I was very young, but we had the VHS. We watched it. It was a good movie. He was like in his 40s when he did that.
Right.
So I guess now that I think that came out in the late 80s.
You just assume that he wasn't as old as he was. He just
that too, and he's been bald his whole life.
Yes.
And that makes him look older. So like, you know what I mean? Like Danny he's a fucking goat, if you ask me. That guy is awesome. He's awesome on Always Sunny. I like his movies. Danny DeVito's awesome. Best Penguin ever as well for Batman. He was great.
Let's get caught up on some messages here. Why don't we? Ron, I do want to say welcome to the show. Ron Owens says this. Love to see the NFL address Chase's lying. Of course, they won't. Med admit when they make a mistake. Boys continue to lie and attempt to cover it up. And that's what it reminded me of. It reminded me of that kid in school. He's sitting there literally saying, I didn't do it. It's like, bro, we got you on camera.
Not my fault.
What was that old song? It wasn't me. Remember?
It wasn't me. I caught you on the camera. It wasn't me. Hawking loogies into people's faces. It wasn't me.
Vegas. I'm sorry. Yinzer Joe says Mason would do better in a porn film industry. He'd still back up there too. He'd be the fluffer.
Mason Hughes or Holmes. Mason Holmes.
Vegas says, hi Q1. Do you think sand is called sand because it's between the sea and the land? I don't know.
You'll have to consult a language expert on that one.
RB says the Bills are losing Allen away from being total dog shit. Let's be honest. Mark Malone says all we need to do is win in this. Is this secondary to live up to its bill? Absolutely. There's so much freaking talent in the secondary.
We're very good on paper. So if you're very good on paper, if you just live up to what it says on paper, you should be good to go, right?
He follows it up by saying, and I think we have a shot seeing as how the majority of them have not been tainted by Tomlin prior to this year. Vegas says, hi Q2. Doesn't expect the unexpected, make the unexpected the expected. See, this is where Vegas is like, you know how you get in that mood right after around 2-3 in the morning and you're hanging out with your buddies and your friends and you start saying weird shit.
Yeah, especially after you're under the influence of the devil's lettuce or a couple drinks and you start asking those silly questions like, why do we drive on a parkway and park in a driveway?
We know where you're at. We know where you're at, Vegas.
We've been there.
He follows it up by saying this, hi Q3, if you pour your ice water on a hot dog, does it become a chili dog?
It becomes a cold dog.
And Finch, yeah, you are an expert, then that's what that would be, right?
I make hot dogs for a living. Yes.
Tortilla says Bills ain't face us in 2025, though. It's true. They haven't. It's true. Cody says, "Do you guys think we can keep Gainwell next year?" I do think that. I don't know what I can't remember what his deal was or what he came over with, but I don't see why not. I don't see why he couldn't be affordable. And but again, good look around too. There might be somebody you like better. It might be somebody we draft better, you know. But again, he's certainly held up for what we brought him in for. No two ways about that.
He steps up when we call his number, and that's all we ask.
Vegas's last question of the day: why is there a D in fridge but not in refrigerator? I have seen that one before, and that is a good question.
I've
don't know.
never seen that question before, but that's a good one.
Christopher says if we shut down Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, we can shut down Bills wide receivers, Dalton King. I agree.
That's a wonderful statement.
But the biggest
100%.
problem is the man that's under center.
The guy throwing the ball, right?
Absolutely, because he could score many different ways. He could do it all.
There's an old adage in the NFL that you can't defend the perfect pass, and Josh Allen is capable of perfect passes.
I know, and he does it all the time.
And don't forget about his ability to run.
Lindsay said,
true
good
feature.
with that. Vegas also says, I'm sure the teachers loved hearing a bunch of kids yelling "suck it" every day. Yes, and you know what? I think the 6'9" is today's "suck it." It don't sound as
it's not as offensive as "suck it"
on the layer.
You're not pointing at your wiener every time you say it, you know.
But again, I mean,
right.
People, there's theories of what this means, so it could be just as offensive, just depending on what you think or what you know.
Remember, we grew up in the Attitude Era, my friend.
That's right. Suck it was a normal thing in the 90s and early 2000s.
Got yelled at so much in school for that shit.
Vegas says Vanilla and his partner came in second in the three-legged race at the Lot Lizard Olympics. This I do know to be fact. Yes, him and his three-legged Lot Lizard friend, they came in. They did well in the Lizard Olympics.
The funny thing is, Mike put her on his back and carried him, and he ran with 3 legs of his own.
Oh, come on. That third leg is way too little. He'd be all up on his face, you know.
He'd be rolling over it.
He'd rolling over.
It's like chopping the leg off of a stool.
No one left behind. I like that comment.
Nice.
One left behind. Tortilla says will we ever get over this Thornhill? Lindsay said it's going to look different when a defense actually plans for Mason. Absolutely.
Might be right about
absolutely.
That's a very intelligent statement you just
when
made.
Somebody, Lindsay, when somebody game plans for Aaron, you still got to know this guy knows what he's doing. He could change a play at the line of scrimmage as good as anybody else still at this point in his career. Those are the little things that experience gives you that you can't take away from Mason because he's not good enough. He just hasn't played a lifetime of football in the NFL. You could play, you could watch, you could learn, you could be involved. Getting in there and knowing is what Aaron Rodgers possesses that Mason doesn't, and that's where my advantage comes from as well. I think that's why I lean as far as Aaron until Aaron really F's up. Aaron's put up 19 touchdowns so far this year. Aaron's doing, again, not great, but probably the best option that we had after players moved. Again, I like guys that moved around the league and they are playing well on their team. Matter of fact, Seattle's first place. Seattle's looking really good out west with Sam Darnold and Danny Dimes. Not looking too bad in Indianapolis, which obviously was a joke at the time. Nobody wanted Danny Dimes, but nonetheless.
I was high on Danny Dimes. I thought
you liked Danny Dimes.
I liked him. I thought he had potential when I would see him playing those games in New York. He just had a very terrible team around him. The guy has a good arm. He has a good arm.
I really liked him.
When the
guy broke free Finch and he was running 60 yards and he fell and tripped over his own
yeah, he tripped over the yard line or
moment,
whatever.
I was out.
You know what? Hey, man, I've tripped and fallen over things that weren't there too,
but
man.
I'm not giving you $1 million to run my football team.
I know. I'm just saying, man.
I get you.
I like him. I think he's capable. I want to see him do well. It is what it is.
Yeah. Also on the board, we do have this. Vegas is Bears' number 1 defense forcing turnovers, and they have the lowest third down conversion percentage against them too. That's again. And you know what? Maybe it's a telltale. Maybe I'm looking. Maybe I am being too optimistic because again, a couple weeks ago when we played a really good defense in the Chargers game, we shit the bed.
Yep.
Can we expect that it be the same thing this week? I hope not, but that's what it is. Let's see what else we do have here. Christmas says, hit the like button, fellas. I appreciate that, my man. Always. RB says, Lindsay getting the name Rimsey. Ironic, she has salad in her name.
Something's getting tossed around.
Something is going on here, but I like it. Whatever it is, I'm here for it. Lindsay said, laugh my ass off. RB says, I watched Ben play football for 20 years. Don't mean I can't get the job done. Yeah. Yeah. Mark Millen says, don't be a two-pumper, gentlemen. RB says, I wish I could be a two-pumper.
Damn.
Vegas, no more long routes for all the receivers on 3rd and 2. Just get to the first down and move on. You're overthinking too. I hate when I see teams overthink too much sometimes, and we're certainly involved in that. I've seen it a couple times last game. Tortilla says Big Ben was a two pumped, and it was beautiful.
One of the greatest pumpers of all time, that Roethlisberger, on the field and off the field.
Kenneth, always great to see you, my man, on the terrible board. He says, hello, guys. Welcome to the show, Kenneth. Vegas. I'm sorry, Christmas. Christmas is our secondary is a no-fly zone with Ramsey and Duggar at safety. We should have had 3 picks against Flacco. No, we should have. Again, you know what? Even the Chuck Clark picks earlier on in the season that he dropped, and we dropped a bunch of interceptions. This defense, the secondary is good. If we would have got all those interceptions that we should have had, man, we would be looking real good right now as far as our defense. And
it's like having 5 Ike Taylors back there.
It's like having all these Ike Taylors. We built a secondary around all these Ike Taylors. But you know what? It's coming along, Finch. Let's see what Vegas says. Vegas says tackles are a BS start.
BS stat.
A BS stat. Ravens gave Ray Lewis when he was near the pile.
So you're saying how they calculate tackles is kind of BS? Is that what you're saying, Vegas?
Though, I mean, Vegas, you've seen the games like I did. There's no question that Ray Lewis wasn't dominating every game that he was in. He was a man amongst boys in the NFL, and that's saying a lot. And I know whether they did
it hurts to say that, but it's so true. You know,
it really is, dude. He was come on. With the exception of Lawrence Taylor in my lifetime, he's top 3 easy of guys that I've seen out of my own eyes play football. Vegas says
that's a big claim there, but I can't disagree.
Vegas says this Christophus facts. Duggar dropped a surefire interception to the house earlier. Yeah. Vegas says he made up though, didn't he? Vegas says this. That's why watching Troy Polamalu was so fun, and he didn't know where he was going to end up. That's right. That's everybody wants that back. Everyone
that nose for the football.
Let Minka be this guy. Let Minka do what Troy did. You don't just get that guy and make him that guy. Troy Polamalu was a truly one of the best football players
of all time.
Come on, go around the league and see anybody that's actually doing what Troy Polamalu was doing in his day. You don't see it. They try to make guys be that, but Troy was the best for a reason. Mark Malone, he's a future member of the All Whites for sure. Not sure who that was. Phil the Steel says, at Miss Pittsburgh, your comments are fire. I agree with you, Phil, on that. Vegas says, do the mixed players play a half for all whites and black? I'm not sure what this is referring back to, guys. Tortilla says the mixed players are the refs, so they favor both sides.
Because they wear black and white stripes. I get it.
That's what I like. That's the black and white arguments I like when we're against the referee.
It's the black and white cookie. It's a mesh of all the good things. Both. You put it together. Unfortunately, though, it makes you puke. But for the first time since 1984 or whatever it was.
Yes, actually, absolutely. A Seinfeld episode, a line at least from that episode.
We will always throw in those Seinfeld quips when we can.
Damn straight. All right, let's get back at it here. Vegas, the old comedian Pat Cooper says when he was young, he had a racist piano teacher that would let him play the Black Keys. Jamal says that's BS. Fuck Slay. Mark Malone says they have to alternate. Corey says, what was Chase's fine amount? Chase is getting fined $448,333 with a $58,823 bonus that he would be getting paid as well. So that comes out to over $500,000 for spitting on another man. $500,000, and he's appealing. In his appeal, his argument is, if I was going to try to spit on him, I would have spit in his face. But it didn't go in his face, so you shouldn't.
That was one magic loogie.
That was one magic loogie, of course, sticking with Seinfeld.
Keith Hernandez.
So Cody has 500,000. Cody does have that up there.
Hey, good job, Cody, and all you guys for helping us out in the chat when we're a little behind, and you guys are answering each other's questions with stuff like that. That's good community. I love that stuff. I like to see that. Way to go, Cody.
Vegas says people really wonder why wide receivers didn't want to sign with the Steelers at the trade deadline. I could certainly say I would have thought that over the past few years. I wouldn't have wanted to play under Mitch Trubisky, Mason Rudolph, Kenny Pickett. I mean, come on. I totally get that. But maybe this year again. Again, we don't know what's going to happen in the future, so that's a good question and it's a good comment. Tortilla W Vegas, as I remember him on Taxi. Of course, I think that's Danny DeVito, right?
Yep,
Danny?
definitely watched a lot of Taxi in my day, but not until after I had seen him in other things. I didn't watch Taxi until it was on Nick at Night.
Cody says he's still out here fighting with Eli Manning. Jamal says Danny DeVito is the GOAT.
Hell yeah, he is.
Follows it up by saying Shaggy. Yeah, Shaggy sings. It wasn't me.
Yep.
I can see that. They should have that playing every time they have Jamar Chase's face on the screen talking about this. They should have that in the background. Tortilla says Chase's defense is a bird pooped on Ramsey.
Also, it wasn't spit; it was bird shit that came out of his mouth.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Why does he have bird shit in his mouth? What's up with that?
Hey. You see Aaron Rodgers doing the smelling salts. Maybe he puts bird shit in his mouth to get him going. I don't know. Just a thought, guys. Vegas says this. I am an only child. I couldn't say it wasn't me. When something was broken, it was literally always me.
Yep. That's unfortunate, Vegas.
Cody says this. That song is a relationship guide. Tomlin's the GOAT, coming from Jamal, of course. Jamal loves Tomlin. We know that, my man. We got you. Phil Steele says that Christmas. I think we know Teflon Don will F up the season in the end. No, wait, it's all gonna be TJ Watt's fault. Jamal, Mike T for life. Cody says Mike Tomlin for life as well. Corey says this. Any of you guys tried Jim Beam pineapple? I'm about to go pick that shit up for the weekend tonight. I haven't. Sounds good. Corey Finch, you sometimes drink more than me.
Yeah, I'm not actually a big drinker. But I've never had Jim Beam pineapple. In fact, the only Jim Beam I ever had is just the OG Jim Beam. But I'd be willing to give it a try.
Vegas says Finch. So you knew what Coach T was talking about when he mentioned the ingredients in a hot dog. Finch. It was I
loved that comment when he made it. Yeah,
gotcha.
Yeah. That was a good one. Nobody wants to know what the ingredients are, I think is what he said, right?
Yeah.
No comment.
Finch handles them wieners every day better than anybody I've ever seen. I got to be honest with you, better than anyone I've ever seen.
Roll them, flip them, burn them, flip them on a bun, and put it in the mouth, baby.
That's right. That's right. Let's go to Lindsay. Lindsay says Cody last week was fire Tallman. I can't with you. Mark Malone says Chicago dog is the only way to go. That's what I hear.
They are good.
Chicago dogs
they are good.
I don't want a big pickle in my hot dog, but I got to be honest with you. They look good in a lot of pictures. There's things that it's like they almost like a them everything bagels is basically what the buns look like. And then they have like pickles and tomatoes and lettuce and all this other kind of stuff.
Kraut and all kinds of shit.
Yeah. I mean, if you're into trying new stuff,
I'll try it. Yeah, I'd like to try it. I mean, I like those ingredients, so why wouldn't it be good on a hot dog?
Cody says he enjoys controversy. No two ways about that. Lindsay acknowledges that. Phil still says I grew up in the real motherfucking G area. We had juice. That's right,
you talking
man.
About the movie Juice, or are you talking about O.J. Simpson?
Here's one for you. Well, they're both from the same time.
That's true.
I had a question. The other day we were talking about movies. We were talking about Friday. We were talking about Boys in the Hood. We were talking about Juice. Tell me what movie this is from. Just a couple words. I thought of this the other day, and I thought of you guys. And when I say it, you're going to say, you thought of us when you thought of this? But listen, hear me out. Tell me if you could tell me the name of this 90s movie by these three words. You ready? Wrong hole, fool. Wrong hole, fool. Take a minute. If you know the answer to that, it falls in the line. Menace to Societies, the Boys in the Hood, Juice, Friday, anything. It falls in that line. If you know the movie that came from, let me know on the board. Wrong hole, fool. All right, now we'll continue on. Let's see. Jamal says, no, Cody, stay on your side of the fence. Vegas says, Chirac dogs are overrated. They just a bunch of vegetables, talking about them Chicago dogs on them. I agree. That's, if you like to try new things, and that's awesome. It would probably be delicious. But there's a couple things I see right off the cat. I know that I'm not going to love it, but I'd try it. I would try it. Cody says I'm Mexican, so I can jump fence. He says I'm Mexican. I can jump fences, huh? Jamal says, fuck Mason, let's play Skylar. That's right, Skylar Thompson. Shit, I forgot all about Skylar.
We were talking last night about Will Howard, and we could not come up with Skylar's name. We're like, we kept saying the other guy. We just couldn't come up with it.
I would have went the rest of my life not remembering that guy. For some reason, he's so unforgettable. He did well in the preseason. Remember, everyone loved him. They loved him. Then he got beat up in Ireland or some shit, or jumped.
Hey, man, maybe he comes in sometime soon, and he makes his name.
I think there's a better chance that him and Mark Sanchez get together and go on one of these these revenge tours. They keep getting beat up everywhere. These old these quarterbacks. Finch, of course, Mark Sanchez.
Yeah.
Earlier the year, Skylar Thompson. So something's going on out there. Let's move on here on the board. Skylar, there he goes. Cody says Skylar got beat up by a male prostitute. Is that what it was? I don't know if that's what the case, but that would be hilarious. Vegas says 19 touchdown passes already don't keep. Has 12 and 20. Kenny Pickett didn't have 12 and 25 starts. Who was deciding to vote that? I agree. He didn't have 12 touchdowns and 25 starts, Kenny Pickett. You know what I mean? Yep. So I'm liking the touchdowns so far this year. 19 touchdowns by Aaron. Corey says, Cody, I'm Caucasian. I will snitch.
You fucking rat.
I'm Mexican. I'll jump fences. Corey says, I'm Caucasian. I'll snitch. He's calling the cops right now. You know that, right?
They're already halfway there, dude.
That come on, that might be the game. Well, I'm just saying there was a lot of fantastic and great comments today, but coming from left field, Corey, that might get the game ball, guys. You got to come on strong if you're going to try to beat that. Vegas says the turf monster got Jones that day. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Mark Malone says the Iraqis make hot dogs. Oh, with the with how he whatever that was, Chirac hot dogs. He says.
Oh, okay.
Cody says Corey snitches get stitches. That was freaking amazing, dude. What a great out of the left field stance comment. Staples are faster. Corey says this. Christopher says we're going to get a very good running quarterback in Caleb Williams that will prepare our defense for Josh Allen. Don't forget, we got to defend Lamar Jackson twice a year.
That's a good point.
Who? Let me ask you this: Who mirrors Caleb this week? Again, we are going to certainly be implementing that in our defenses with four games against amazing running quarterbacks, and even maybe I don't know, two put out of that. But listen, those other four guys, two Lamars, one. Why don't I just look at the comment?
Allen, Jackson, Caleb Williams.
Why was it Allen? Why can't I ever remember Allen? Josh Allen, and then Caleb Williams, guys. Those are four guys that we're going to have a spy back there. Who spies? Is it going to be Peyton Wilson? Is it going to be Patrick Queen? Who do you put in that spot, Finch, to spy these all these mobile quarterbacks coming up? 4 of the last 7 games, with the possibility of maybe a little bit more. Again, you might see Shador Sanders in a couple of weeks as well with the Cleveland Browns, and he's not as mobile as some of these guys, but again, you know, I could imagine with the DNA of Deion Sanders, he could probably hit a pretty good speed.
Yeah, Shador is big, and he's capable of knocking guys over. You know what I mean? He's a large guy.
Yeah. Oh, did I mention this real quick? His house got burglarized.
Shador Sanders?
When he just played, when he had his first action this Sunday.
Yeah.
Somebody was literally breaking into his house. He come home from the football game. Shador Sanders' house was burglarized. I just read
not cool, man. Not cool at all.
But he is expected to start on Sunday. So go ahead. Who do you think could be the mirror, the guy that spots up all these mobile quarterbacks?
We tend to use Patrick Queen in that situation, don't we? I seem to remember him spying on Lamar a lot last year. That's probably going to be the guy.
All right. It's going to be interesting, man, because again, I like the Chicago start because again, Josh Allen a little bit better, the Bills a little bit better. And then again, the Ravens are going to be 2 big games for us anyway. Yes. I like the Caleb Williams. We'll get we'll get acclimated, get a guy back, or see how that's working. So how this is actually playing out is kind of working for me. Let me get back on here. Here it is. Vegas says this. He says Mark Malone, LOL. Maybe Chicago named Chirac due to all the killings. Cody says yeah, but it don't rhyme. It takes the fun out of it for me at Corey. JPJ, non-catching ass. Yeah, you know what? He's the reincarnate of like Taylor, guys.
Yeah.
Same number, same build, same nubby ass hands.
But hey, man, if you're keeping balls out of the receiver's hands, we'll take it every time.
Absolutely. We like to do a little less with the interferences and the calls like
that.
Well,
obviously, yes. It's a learning curve. He's getting better. He's learning. These are discipline issues that a lot of players deal with early in their career, and he's no different.
Mark Malone says at Vegas, I always thought all those veggies would fuck up a good hot dog. Then I had one. It's the only way. Mark, you know what? That's interesting because that's what I felt as well. So maybe I just got to try one of these.
Here's a funny thing about food. Individual food items can taste like garbage, but somehow when you put them together, it changes the flavor profile of something, and it, as a whole, like a sandwich or something, can do really great things. So sometimes you look at a sandwich, you're like, oh, there's pickles on there, but then you eat it and you're like, you know what? That pickle complemented the rest of that sandwich. You know what I
just
mean?
imagine everybody in Chicago, all the kids, because when kids they just like basic shit. They like ketchup on their hot dog or mustard.
Right.
I mean, they'll hang you if you put ketchup on your hot dog in Chicago.
Yeah. Imagine a 6-year-old ordering a Chicago dog with kraut and
Right.
a pickle and fucking chili and all that shit on it. Yeah, you're right.
So that would be my only thought on that. But let's move forward. Go right here.
Mark Malone.
Yeah, no, I see it. I'm trying to look back and look forward for some. Mark Malone does say this. He did say, okay, you fixed that. Cody says, we had this Troy conversation yesterday. There will never be another Troy Polamalu.
100%.
Corey
you
says
can say that
Ryan.
about all the greatest players. There'll never be another Rice. There'll never be another Sanders. There'll never be another Troy.
Corey says that, Ryan, can I send you a collaboration invite to help boost my channel? Also, I'm going to email you to maybe try to interview and we could discuss some conspiracies. Absolutely, dude. Please.
I would watch the shit out of that.
Yes.
That would be awesome.
Yeah. And also, yes, do that. Vegas says, this is Mark Malone. We have 2 Chicago Dogs places here. They're good, but it's stuff on it, which to me is doing too much. But clearly, I'm in the minority. A lot of people love it. I have to try it, Mike. Or I'm sorry, Finch. What's the most that you could get on hot dogs at your place? Is there half dozen different things?
Let me think about this. So a fully loaded hot dog at our place would be a hot dog with cheddar, ketchup, mustard, relish, onions, chili, sauerkraut, pickles, and jalapenos.
Does people get it like that ever?
Occasionally, yes. You will see people get that kind of load up on a burger. I don't see them get everything like that on a dog, but we do occasionally get hot dog orders that'll have 6 or 7 different items on it. And as soon as you pick it up out of the basket, it just falls apart.
Yeah, right.
You almost have to eat it with a knife and a fork.
Gotcha. Mark Malone says, I'm not really big on hot dogs, but man, those are pretty good. Cody says if he fails the appeal, he should pay Ramsey the fine money.
Wouldn't it be awesome if it worked that way?
I know, right? Maybe, yeah. Gang,
a lot more
Jamal.
men would learn a lot more lessons if that was the case.
Rimsey says, great job, Cody. Vegas says, Mark Malone, the one closest to me has old newspapers with articles and pictures of actual Nazis posted on their walls. I stood there, and as I read, read as many as I could. It was crazy. Cody says, thank you. Back to Rimsey. Also, let's see. Cody's the Colt, and then he changes that. Jamal says that he is the GOAT. I agree. We love Cody.
Jamal throws that GOAT word around a lot.
That's all right. Mark Malone at Vegas. LOL. The Nazis know their Franks. Now Jamal says he's hungry now. You know what? I'm getting very in the mood for a freaking hot dog.
Actually,
the more that we talk about this and all that stuff that you said on there, I want it now. I just want it. I have to have it because I heard it. You know,
Ryan, hot dog shop. You meet 3 o'clock. I'm buying, bro.
You know what, man?
Shoot me a text. Let's make it happen.
Mark Malone says this. He says no kraut, relish, peppers, pickles, tomato, mustard. Cody says New Jack City. This is the guess on the wrong hole, fool.
I have a guess too. That
is not correct, but that's a good guess. Tortilla, he guessed Pulp Fiction, which is not correct. Still, same time, guys. Right around that time, poppy seed roll. The poppy seed roll is what I was trying to think of. Finch, what's your guess on the?
I'm scrolling up now, and Corey said what I thought it was: is don't be a menace to society.
That's right. That is it.
That was my thought. Yes. Good job, Corey.
Dashiki was the chick. Her character name was Dashiki, which was Swahilian for doggy style. If you remember.
That's right.
When he was in the room getting ready to do her, like all these remember it was Mike Tyson's boxer shorts were laying on the floor. It was like literally boxer shorts like a boxer would wear, and it said Tyson, and then he got up on her and she was like, wrong hole, fool.
I haven't watched that movie since I was a teenager.
And the dude was like, are you sure? And she's like, I got 8 kids.
That's right. Nobody would know better.
Mark Malone said, poppy seed roll, Corey. Don't be a man. Yes, that is exactly it, Corey. Ding, ding, ding. You nailed it, my man. Mark Malone said onion. Jamal, Malibu's Most Wanted was his pick. Tortilla says Skylar's going to get robbed again in Chicago. Cody says Mark Sanchez also got beat up by a male prostitute. Skylar experienced white-on-white crime. Hey, don't go to, yeah, and here's the thing. They always say when you go to Mexico, make sure you hide all your stuff. They tell these NFL players, look, he goes to Europe and gets beat up over there. So there goes that narrative, guys. Throw that out the window. Let's see. Christopher says chili dogs with melty cheddar is, yes.
You got to come to my spot, bro.
Finch's
if you
hot
like
dogs.
chili and cheddar, then you are going to eat the best you ever had. You come see us.
Yeah. Yeah, you ain't lying. He's not lying. Cody says we can call the revenge tour the comeback. The comeback, all right. Jamal,
don't call it a comeback.
I've called ICE on Cody 5 times. They never showed up.
I'm fucking dead, bro.
Cody says when you said ICE, I was assuming you were trying to get some for your Kool-Aid.
Oh, fuck. Shit. Why do you have to go with the Kool-Aid reference? Come on, man. This is getting borderline out of pocket now.
Rimsey says you guys are wild. Vegas says they robbed him because they knew where he was for sure.
Talking about Shador.
Oh yeah, they certainly did on the sidelines. They were expecting, but shit, he got into play. Jamal says James Harrison said that the coach had something to do with the Shador break-in. Really? Is that serious? That's crazy, man.
That's a serious allegation right there.
Absolutely. Tortilla says, man, I hope Shador plays when we play the Browns. He very well might, dude.
Steelers are traditionally great against rookie QBs.
Can you say that they love Dylan Gabriel? You know what I mean? I sure can't. I wouldn't be surprised to see Shador at all. Matter of fact, I would encourage them. I think that I don't know.
That's what the Browns fans want, that's for sure. He got a huge pop when they popped him into the game the other day. I mean, he got stone cold levels pop from the audience. So, the Browns fans want to see Shador, and if Shador keeps playing the way he did the other day as a Steeler fan, I'd like to see him too.
And you know what Jamal's saying right here? He said he was dead serious going on that comment about the coach. That's interesting. We'll keep an eye on that, my man.
I believe you were serious. I'm just saying you throw around the GOAT word a lot. That's all I was saying.
He says he was dead serious. You see that comment, Finch? What right above it, Cody's comment. You read that.
Hold on a second. La Migra is on scene.
What is that?
La Migra. I don't know what that is.
Oh, okay. Finch is a lot smarter of a person than me. I figured he would. Cody.
My Spanish is not good, but I'm gonna do it right now. The migration. Okay, that makes sense.
Oh, the
migration is on. Okay.
Gotcha.
That's a little meta. I like that. That's good.
Also, Cody says, got to shut my Alexa off. Vegas is Ryan. Sorry, I didn't say Chirac. Chirac. Chirac was what he said. Sorry, I apologize on that, sir. Cody, anyone? Feel the steel. This podcast is like a great big pussy waiting to get fucked. Tony Montana, Brighton Hot Dog Shop. Lindsay says.
That's the run. That's the one. Yes.
Lindsay.
You must be local.
Yeah, are you local? Rimsey. Also,
maybe she knows who I am. Maybe she's seen his face.
Well, I do see her on the other show, so let's.
Yeah.
But we do love. I love having Lindsay on. I got to be honest with you. Today's been great with everybody on the board. Phil Steele says it's not. Don't be a menace. It's not be a don't be a menace. Or yes, it is. Don't be a menace. Don't be a menace to society. Well, don't be a menace to South Central while drinking your hood. Drinking your juice in the hood.
In the hood. Yes, thank you.
I love that. It's you know what? It's like Jamal's show name. You have to really think as you're starting to say it up.
I know. It's a tongue twister almost.
Yes. Don't be a menace to society while drinking your juice in the hood.
And that's why we call the show Gang Gang.
That's right, baby. Tortilla says, I like my hot dogs like I like my women undressed. All right.
I love it.
I do too. While drinking juice in the hood. There it is. Corey says it was funnier that his son was the same age as he was.
Yes.
Yes. That, you know what? That is a classic movie. And the thing was, it was a spoof movie.
I hope
of course,
it's streaming,
by the way,
I'm gonna watch it today.
But come on, you look at all them movies from the early '90s, dude. You have to have "Don't Be a Menace" somewhere in your top 5. You have to. Because Finch, you're our little milk of magnesia right here on the show. Do you remember? You remember that line?
It's on Peacock. I'm watching it today.
Finch is our very own little milk of magnesia right here. Chili dogs are my favorite of all time, dude. Me too. Believe me. And you know what? Finch's hot dogs, no joke, bro. They're bomb. Phil Steele says,
Beaver County legend, guys.
Yeah, for sure, man. Okay, the border control got that. Lindsay says yes, Pittsburgh here. Awesome. That's awesome, Lindsay. We're glad to have you. We truly are.
We're
Vegas
Beaver
gets-
County folks, Lindsay. So please welcome to this board.
Vegas says someone needs to invent the ability to email food. You know what? It's coming. I have a feeling it's coming. Something's coming like this. I think the technology is about to change the world. I truly, honestly do. I don't have exact answers down to the science, but I got reason to believe things are changing, man. Fearless Steel says message. Yeah. Yes. Message. In the movie, of course. Guys, do check out our website. There's a lot of cool things over there. Mike does put a lot of work into it. Go check out our website anytime over at www.the2dumbyinzers.com. That's www.the2dumbyinzers.com. Christopher says, since we are coming to an end, here is a comparison. Friday or Coming to America. My personal favorite is Friday. I love Coming to America, and it's a classic movie, but there's no movie I like better on this planet than the movie Friday 1, First Friday. I like 2 and 3 as well, but Friday 1 is my hands down favorite movie of all time. And you know this, man.
That's tough for me because I like both movies so much. And Eddie Murphy is an absolute, especially 1980s, Eddie Murphy was unstoppable. Yes. But Friday does have a little more sentimental value to me because that was one of those movies that me and my friends sat and watched 20 times over the course of a weekend.
That's what it is. I grew up on Coming to America. I was a teenager when Friday was out. So I lived Friday.
Right. You know? I remember when it came out. I remember Dr. Dre had the music video, Keep Your Heads Ringing.
Yeah, man.
And that song was on there. That was a part of it too. It's a sentimental thing for me. Coming to America might be a slightly better film. But for me, Friday, I'm with you, Rye, that it has sentimental value to me, as many movies of that time period.
Fuck, you gotta get fired on your day off. You know what I mean? There's just so many lines that related to my life at that particular time. Again, I grew up with the great Coming to America.
How many times have you said the phrase "Bye, Felicia"? Right. How many times have you said, "Come on, Craig"? Just shit like that. You got knocked the fuck out. Yeah, right. Or the old man. You know how many times I've walked out of the bathroom and looked at my daughter and said, "Don't go in there for 35, 45 minutes."
I say it every time I take a shit.
All the time.
Every time I walk out of a bathroom. Derpy, what's up, bro? Nice seeing you on the board. But I agree. My favorite, Coming to America is one of the greatest movies in my opinion. But my favorite of those two movies, I would prefer to watch Friday over and over, as I did throughout my life. And it's a little less dated as well. Of course, the movie Coming to America is a little older. Just get a little bit better of a look. Here's one more thing before I do get into this, the last stuff, Finch. Have you noticed the stuff they're showing from 1999 in that area, which is, close to when you were in high school?
Yeah.
Why did the video look so damn old now? And I used to think this back in the 90s, all the videos from the 60s and the 70s look so old. So I figured when I get older, things were going to look like it looked in the 90s, in the 2000s. Bro, all the videos are looking like they're from the olden days from the 90s. Our technology and our TVs and our screens advanced that much?
Yes, they have. They absolutely have. And the recording process has changed too. Remember, they used to record onto film. Now they record digitally. Yeah. So when they remaster those old films, with exception, there are some old films that look unbelievable in like 4K or whatever.
Right.
But when they remaster some of those old films, it's because they were shot a certain way. They were shot at a different time with different photography and cinematography and stuff. And then when you try to upscale it up, it's a little different. You know what I mean? And the technology is so good. And also with these newer screens, especially these 4K screens and OLED type displays. OLED is what you have in your phone. It brings out details in old video that were never meant to be seen.
Right. I mean, I'm looking at this. I thought this was 1999. I don't remember ever seeing anything ever looking as bad as this in my life, but that's just how it plays out. Guys, let me catch up on a couple more stories. We're going to wrap it up. We do have a question of the day. We do have a Chicago Bears. How well do you know your enemy? How well do you know your opponent question? Let me catch up on a few of these comments because they're great all day. But I do want to say Eddie Murphy is one of the greatest comedians, guys. I love Eddie, but I'm leaving Friday on this one. Corey Beaver says this: crazy legs. I can't feel my legs. You never could. Obviously, from Don't Be a Menace.
Yeah.
Phyllis still says sexual chocolate. Derpy, my man. Phyllis still says, Finch, you ain't hood. Also, Cody says, I posted the video this morning. It had the Steelers logo on Eddie Murphy, and he was yelling, "Great day!" And then
I saw that, yeah. Good morning.
Yes.
Yes. Fuck you.
Fuck you.
I saw it too. Yeah.
Derbs, boom. Vegas says Friday came out 30
Boom.
freaking years ago. Jeez, oh man. The times were good in the mid-90s. Steelers going to the Super Bowl. Friday coming out.
Presidents getting their dick sucked and nobody bitching about it.
Come on, man. Everybody loved everybody loved when the president got his dick sucked. It was good times in
Well,
America. We were celebrating the oral, the fellatio, if you will. Cody and Phil. Derpy. Let's see. Let's go right here. Phil Steele says only real G's know what Friday is all about, you know. Also, Cody says you need to play left tackle to Derpy. Derpy says, boom. He says, I'm good on that. Vegas says, King Derpy showed up like the king's son in Gladiator. You missed the battle in the war. LOL, great movie by Jamal. Guys, let's get to the question of the day. How well do you know your enemy? How well do you know your opponent? Guys, this is a Chicago Bears question. So, Vince, I'm going to tell you to put on your thinking cap. I'm going to tell everybody on the board as well. Guys, here comes the question of the day. Of course, this is a Bears question. This is who we play next. So here we go, guys. Question of the day. How many points did the Bears allow in the playoffs on their historic 1985 Super Bowl run? Everybody knows how great that defense was. There's a specific amount of points that they let up in that run in the playoffs. My question to you guys is how many points were let up by the Chicago Bears in the 1985 historic Super Bowl run? I'll give you a hint. They played 3 games. They played against the Giants, they played against the Rams, and they played in the Super Bowl against the Patriots. I need the total of points they let up in that run, guys. Think that over. We're live 5 days a week right here, Monday through Friday, 11:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. every day right here on the tube. People are still saying 13. Yes, the whole playoffs, the whole run. It was a big run. Phil's saying the vanilla. He said he's Googling it right now as we speak, which I don't doubt. Finch, the question of the day. Cody's saying 18. Phil's saying 13. The question of the day, how many points did the Bears allow in the playoffs on their historic 1985 run against the Giants, the Rams, and then ultimately the Patriots in the Super Bowl? What's your thought process?
They were really good, that defense.
Yes.
And I do remember, I think I remember the score from the Super Bowl. It was a very, very low score for the Patriots. So I don't really have an exact number, but I'm just going to spitball and say 20 points.
20 points total? All right, not a bad pick. Is that your final answer?
Yes.
All right, I'm going to lock Finch on a 20 points. The question of the day, guys, is how many points did the Bears defense let up on the historic run in 1985 on their way to win the Super Bowl with Mike Ditka from right here in Aliquippa, one of the Hall of Famers in the NFL that we talk about from right here in Hall of Fame High School.
One of many.
Along with Darrell Revis and Ty Law and Tony Dorsett. Again, same town, went to the neighboring school. Tony Dorsett, same city, though. Guys, let me get a look at some of these answers on the board. I see 13. Cody has 18. Christopher has 25 points. Corey is saying that I think it was like 17.6. Vegas is also saying he remembers 10 points in that particular Super Bowl. Yes. I will give you this now, guys. The amount of points that were the Super Bowl score was 46-10. You guys did nail that. Vegas is saying 24. Here we go, guys. This is the question of the day. How well do you know your enemy? How well do you know your opponent? It goes a little something like this. Get it? How many points did the Bears allow in the playoffs in their 1985 historic run to win the Super Bowl? Guys, I told you that the final score was 46-10. What if I told you that the answer to this question was 10?
10 points.
They let up 10 points in the playoffs en route to their Super Bowl win. 10 points total. They shut out the Giants 21-0. They shut out the Rams 24-0, and they beat the Patriots 46-10. Historic is an understatement for what that Bears defense was able to do under Mike Ditka and company. Guys, the answer to the question, 10 points is what they let up in the playoffs. That's the other good teams, you know? So that's what it looked like today, guys. Talking, I'm sorry, Jamal. Jamal says, read my last comment. Corey, Vegas says that 4-6 had the NFL stuck on O.
The 4-6 defense he's talking about.
The Bears 4-6 defense.
They
Sorry.
had absolutely epic defensive the 4-6, you know what I mean, the whole
I,
scheme and everything.
the
Yeah,
Bears, yes, the Bears 4-6. I just
very
didn't know
good.
that was absolutely. Derpy also says, Finch, should I put the streaming link to the game in the group chat?
Yes, Derpy, pop it in there. I'll definitely give it a click and watch.
Phil still says, damn. And Rimsey also says, wow, as well, guys.
Wow.
I do want to, as we are starting to get ready to wrap things up for the day. No, you're good. I got you. The 4-6
We knew
defense,
what he meant. Yeah.
the Bears. Finch, anything before we do get ready to roll for the day, man?
I have had a wonderful time today. I mentioned it earlier, but I'll say it again. Special thanks to our very good friend Jamal, Cody, Corey, all you guys who hang out on the Gang Steelers Talking Trash podcast. They had me on yesterday on a whim, and I look forward to possibly doing that again. Those guys are great. Anybody that's in this board right now who isn't subscribed to them needs to. Anybody that's on the board right now who has not smashed the like button, that's the one that looks like this, do it now or forever hold your peace. Once again, thanks for having me on, Ryan. I'm excited to be here as always. Looking forward to being back on, hopefully one more time this week. And hey, picks are coming up, guys. Get those picks in.
Derpy, we're looking forward to seeing Derpy later. I know that I think you said you're unavailable on pick day, but Derpy will be in later. Finch will be back, guys. So it's going to be a great week. Of course, this is Bears week going into week 12. The Steelers going to play Chicago at Soldier Field, where they are literally 1-12. Dating back to 1936, the only win coming back in their magical season, in my opinion, 1995 Super Bowl year that we got screwed out of. But we're trying to get it back, guys, as we head over to play the Chicago Bears at 1 o'clock on Sunday. We are 3-point road dogs. And again, the Bears, I think, is a team that we could beat. They're not beatable, in my opinion. We'll talk about that and a lot more going through the week. I also do want to say this. If you haven't had a chance, swing by any of our social media. We are on Facebook. We're on X, formerly known as Twitter, Instagram, Threads, even TikTok. Swing by, hit the follow button, and keep up with what the two dumb Yinzers are doing on an everyday basis. Also, if you haven't yet, hit the like button below, hit the sub, the share, and even leave a comment if you will. It really helps us out as far as the algorithm and things like that. So that's why we ask. We appreciate everyone that helps us out on that. And also, Finch, I do want to say this. Make sure you get out, because these gentlemen back here, the people at Duquesne Pilsner, the beer, they help us out tremendously. Everything they do as far as promotion, they add our names and link us and things like that. So the guys over at Duquesne Pilsner right here in Pittsburgh, it's a wonderful beer. If you haven't tried it out, go get yourself a case, a 6-pack, whatever the case may be, or just stop by and show them a little bit of love, what they like on Facebook. That would certainly mean a lot as well. But again, don't forget, Finch, this beer made right here in Pittsburgh. Really good stuff. It says right on the can, grab a Duke.
Grab a Duke.
Finally, I do want to say thank you to everybody for coming and hanging out today. I really do appreciate each and every one of you coming and hanging out, checking us out. We certainly appreciate each and every one of you. We truly couldn't and wouldn't do it without you. We thank you so much. I want to say to everybody on the board, I want to say thank you. You guys are always amazing. You always keep the show interesting, as you are the backbone of this show. Don't you forget it, guys. And I do want to say thank you to everybody at home. Maybe you got your pods, your buds, whatever it is in your ear. Maybe you're at the gym. Maybe you're on a walk. Maybe you're at the mall. Maybe you're even at work listening. Thank you too, guys. You guys are all amazing. We love you all. As we get ready to wrap this show up, Finch, you and Derpy are doing a really great job on Sunday nights. I enjoy watching everything you do. And again, I keep an eye on everything. I stalk in the shadows. So again, there's not much that goes on that I'm not seeing. Right. I see you on Jamal. You did a wonderful job, always doing a great job representing our brand. And I thank you for that, Finch. Certainly a top dog in the organization here for the
Timmy in the chat, by the way, the resident Bears fan. He still thinks the Steelers are going to win that game. So, and as a hardcore Bears fan, Timmy, I love that idea.
But you're going to want to check these guys out on Sunday evenings after the Steeler game, usually between right around 7 o'clock, right before the evening game. The guys do the review show. I'm sorry,
Sunday night review. Yes.
So check them out, guys. Real good stuff. Finch and Derpy do that. But other than that, we'll be back tomorrow at our regular time. Let me bust through a couple of these. Messages real quick, because again, I hate leaving messages on the board, guys. You notice I hate leaving anybody out. I'm going to start right here. Ryan, Cody says, Ryan, jump on sometime. Love to hear some uncensored shit. Absolutely, dude. Yes. I will. I believe I'm there. Believe me, I sneak in and out. I hang in the shadows. But I will. Jamal says, you have an open invitation, Finch, anytime. Phil says this. Cheers, Watt fans and Miss Pittsburgh. The stash. I want the stash. Teflon Dawn sucks. Cody, thanks for hanging out with us, Finch. Gang. Finch, the man. Also, Jamal, we really enjoyed having you on the show. Derpy said it's in the group chat. Jamal says, check out what I just said on the Epstein files, bro. Also,
I think we all heard that rumor yesterday, Jamal. Just so you know, I think everybody heard that rumor.
Also, Jamal says Trump and all the presidents are gay. I mean, come on. I think we all knew it. Now they're just finally admitting to it. They're all crazy. Believe me, all of them.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Not that there's anything wrong with that. Trump sucked up Bill Clinton and Putin had it. Again, I don't know what to make of all this, guys. Again, in this age with AI and everything, you never know what the hell to know is truth. But again, we'll certainly be keeping an eye on that. Tim, 34-16 Steelers. All right. I do want to say, hope everything's well with you, Tim. Nice seeing you, sir. Thank you for stopping on the board. Jamal says, latest conspiracy theory. Aaron, we appreciate that, my man. Aaron says, great show. Jamal says, lock it up. Miss Pittsburgh, great show. We appreciate that, Miss Pittsburgh. Great to see you today. Great to see you.
Yeah.
And thank you for coming by. Tim says Rogers isn't injured. It's all theatrics. He'll start. And finally, Derpy says it'll be Thursday. Tim says Trump did blow in the 80s. Guys, there you go.
Different type of blow, but whatever.
As we do wrap things up today, guys, thank you so much for coming by. We'll be back tomorrow at our regular time right here to do it all over again for Hump Day, to get ready for this Chicago Bears game. This is a big, again, Finch, the next game is the biggest game of the year every week, in my opinion, and the Bears couldn't be any bigger at this point. We get this win, we're still hanging on by a string. You lose, the Ravens tie you. Now you're starting. The tables are turning. So again, huge game, everybody. But again, we'll be back tomorrow to figure out what it is that we have to do to get that win, and so much more right here tomorrow. We hope to see everybody then. Finch, one more time. Speak now or forever hold your peace, my friend. Anything before we roll?
I'm number one in the picks this week.
To poop on. All right, everybody. Guys, thank you so much. Have a wonderful Tuesday. Stay safe, everybody. We hope to see everybody back tomorrow. Have a great day. And for Finch, myself, the two dumb Yinzers, we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Boom.
Man named Mike with a shiny bull crown, a Fu Manchu, that's the talk of the town. He's strutting in a Speedo showing off his tan, the proudest skullet in all of the land. Oh, Mike's skullet shining brighter than the sun, Speedo's hugging tight like he's ready to run. Nemesis Derby's out there shaking his fists, but Mike's just laughing cause he don't give a rip. He co-hosts Yinzers with flair and delight, knows every punchline, he's sharp as a bite. Derpy keeps scheming, trying to steal his spot, but Mike and his skullet, they just can't be caught. Oh, Mike's skullet shining brighter than the sun, Speedo's hugging tight like he's ready to run, Nemesis Derby's out there shaking his fists, but Mike's just laughing cause he don't give a rip. Down at the pool, he's a sight to behold, Skullet's a trophy worth more than gold. With the cannonball splash, he's making big waves, living life his way, no need to behave. Derpy keeps trying, but he can't compete. Mike and his Speedos, he's got that beat. From his podcast chair to the diving board's height, there's no stopping Mike, he's the king of the night. The pool, he's a sight to behold, Skullet's a trophy worth more than gold. With the cannonball splash, he's making big waves, living life his way, no need to behave. Derpy keeps trying, but he can't compete. Mike in his Speedos, He's got that beat. From his podcast chair to the diving board's height, there's no stopping Mike. He's the king of the night.